Yi Mo gave Ning Siswang a clear mind spell, and only then did she wake up. She grabbed Yi Mo's hand and asked, nervously, brother-in-law, we're flying. Yi Mo gave Ning Siswang a clear mind spell, and only then did she wake up. She grabbed Yi Mo's hand and asked nervously, brother-in-law, we're flying. Yi Mo nodded. Yes, this is the cultivation I was talking about. Your sister isn't here, so she can't come see you, but if you want to learn, I can teach you. Of course I want to. Ning Siswang reacted and said in surprise and joy. She realized why her brother-in-law told her to quit. If she could cultivate, why would she go study? Chu Dan thought for an entire night in her dorm, and the next morning she ran to Ning Siswang's dorm. Lu Yan got up and saw it was Chu Dan and immediately looked unhappy. She said coldly, Chu Dan, Siswang was moved away because of you. What else do you want? Chu Dan had an apologetic face. I came to apologize to her. I regret what I did yesterday. Give her number to me. I will apologize to her personally. Hearing this, everyone in the dorm was dazed. Chu Dan had always been very dominant. It was absurd that she came to apologize. Lu Yan reacted quickly. No need for apology after we ate with Siswang and her brother-in-law. They probably left Ning high. So, you have Siswang's number, or do you know where her house is? Chu Dan asked hopefully. Lu Yan was more vigilant. She shook her head. I had her number, but she doesn't use that phone anymore. She told me that if anyone called her, just let them know that she had already left. As for her house, I don't know. Huh? There was disappointment in Chu Dan's eyes, but she didn't fuss about it. She thanked Lu Yan and left. After Chu Dan left, Lu Yan said, do you think this Chu Dan isn't very normal? I won't believe someone like her would apologize. Would this woman be jealous of Ning Sishuang's boyfriend and want to steal him? Yi Ming asked. Yi Xiaoshan crawled up and suddenly said, that might really be possible. Chu Dan isn't a good person, and she would never talk to us in such a low manner. Lu Yan rolled her eyes. Siswang already said that it was her brother-in-law. PFTTT, Chu Dan didn't go back to her dorm, but instead called her father Chu Heng. Father, do you think there are immortals in this world? Chu Dan didn't like people being stronger than her, but she respected her father a lot. Chu Heng was just ready to go to his office and received this strange call. Dan, why are you thinking of something this strange in the morning? There's a meeting at the company. I'm busy. Dad, just answer me. Are there people who are able to fly on clouds? Chu Dan interrupted. Chu Heng frowned, but didn't reproach his daughter. You can't say it's impossible. Our Chu family ancestor seems to be involved in cultivation. Our Chu family dragon door disc is passed down from our ancestor. Chu Heng said, you only need to know it's possible. Focus your efforts on studying. It's not something you should be caring about now. Then, Dad, you taught brother to meditate and practice Qigong. Is that passed down from ancestors? Siyu Dan asked. Chu Dang agreed. You don't even want to learn those things. Why are you asking now? That's right. It's passed down from our ancestor, but it's only some Qigong to strengthen the body. It's very different than ancient martial arts, and rarely do the people in our family get sick. We live long lives also due to this. If you're interested, I can teach you when I come back. Dad, if I told you I saw someone fly on the clouds yesterday, would you believe it? Chu Dan suddenly felt her Chu family wasn't ordinary. Blasphemy. I'm going to have a meeting. Don't think too much. It's going to affect your studies. We can talk at night. Chu Heng hung up. Chu Dan was dazed for a moment before saying to herself, I knew you guys wouldn't believe it. At this moment, Yi Mo got the last 2 fish tails and was with Muan and Ning Siswang. Mu and saw Yi Mo land in the backyard from the sky with Ning Siswang and completely believed Yi Mo's words. She really didn't expect there was something such as cultivation in this world. But after knowing that her daughter was no longer on Earth but on Luo Yu continent, she couldn't control her longing for her daughter. However, Ning's Sis Huang was getting more and more excited. Stars were about to pop out of her eyes. Looking at the two fish tails, Yi Mo was thankful to Ning Shuyan. If these two fish tails were lost, it wouldn't be easy to find them even with his spirit sense. Yi Mo, is it hard to come back after we go to Luoyu City this time? Muan asked. Yi Mo shook his head. After going to Luoyu City, I will be leaving. It's very hard for me to come back, but if you want to go to Ninghai, you can go at any time. However, I suggest not to come back too often. You need to have a peaceful heart for cultivation. Otherwise, your progress won't be much. Who knows when will be the next time I can come back with Jingwen and them? Maybe 10 years or maybe 100 years. Yi Mo didn't say that if he ascended into the immortal ascension, it would be even harder to come back to Earth. The dimension was much sturdier in the immortal realm than in the cultivation realm. Brother-in-law, didn't you fly back with me on a cloud? Why is it a flying boat now? Ning Siswang thought flying on the clouds was much cooler. Yi Mo was speechless. Using clouds is not practical. It's slow and wastes cultivation essence. Even though Yi Mo used a top-grade spirit artifact, they still reached back Luoyu City in a very short time. Although he had seen Luoyu City's prosperity in his spirit sense when he truly saw it, Yi Mo was still excited. Although he didn't build everything, it was founded by him. Seeing Yi Mo come back, Ning Zhongfei and Lan Yu's eyes turned red. They wanted to ask Ning Qingshue's whereabouts immediately, but they knew Yi Mo would tell them. Yi Mo spent more than half the day explaining to them what he said to Ning Siswang and Muan last night. The couple were disappointed that Qingxue wasn't back, but thinking that if they focused on cultivation, they might be able to see their daughter again. They forced themselves to calm down. Just when Yi Mo wanted to go see Huang Yinian and them, Lan Yu asked Yi Mo, "Did you see Qi Wanqing there?" Yi Mo immediately remembered and felt guilty. She wasn't his wife, but she went with Jingwen and them to Luoyu and disappeared. But he never thought of visiting her parents. Her parents came to Luoyu a few times asking if you were back. Eventually, they just moved to Luoyu City waiting for you and retiring here, Ning Zhongfei said. Yi Mo scanned his spirit sense out and soon saw a row of small houses in which Tang Qianping lived. Her face looked very similar to Qi Wanqing, and Yi Mo guessed she was Qi Wanqing's mother. It should be her father next to Tang Qianping. Yi Mo frowned. Why are they living on the outskirts? Ning Zhongfei sighed. What's going on? Yi Mo asked. He had a good impression of Qi Wanqing, and she was lost in Luoyu continent due to him. He should stand up for Qi Wanqing's parents. What's going on? Yi Mo asked. He had a good impression of Qi Wanqing, and she was lost in Luoyu continent due to him. He should stand up for Qi Wanqing's parents. Lan Yu looked at Yi Mo's face and knew he thought that what happened with the Dongfang family happened again. Lan Yu quickly said, her parents were very worried that Qi Wanqing left. After her father retired, he didn't stay in the military and moved to Luoyu City. Luoyu City has become the world's prettiest city under the work of City Lord Huang and them. Muan nodded. Yes, in order to find Jiangwen, I came here a few times. I heard that those who live in Luoyu City have better health on average. Lan Yu nodded. But it's a pity there are too many people wanting to come to Luoyu City. Because of this, Luoyu City's land prices are soaring higher and higher. It's not something ordinary people can afford. Wanqing's parents have some savings, but they can't afford a better place. Yi Mo frowned and asked, Wanqing's mother has a big company and their family is wealthy. How can they not afford to live better? Lan Yu sighed. After Wanqing went missing, her mother didn't have the mind to run her company, and it soon started losing money. Soon, it was taken over by another company. They didn't care about the company profits, so they just came to Luoyu City. Just when Yi Mo wanted to talk, his spirit sense scanned that at the center of Luoyu City, Huang Yinian and them were having a meeting. There was a man in his 30s sitting next to Huang Yinyang. He slammed the table, seeming very angry. But neither Huang Yuinian nor Yu Miaodan and them said anything. Instead, they listened to the man yell at them. Yi Mo was immediately unhappy. Regardless if Huang Yuinian was right or wrong, he was the city lord. How dare someone slam the table in front of him? This was too absurd. Huang Yuinian led Luo Yu City to such prosperity. How could he allow such person to be in the city lord estate meeting? Yi Mo got up and said to Lan Yu, "Ani, I'm going to the city lord estate once. I want you to bring Wanqing's parents to live at Luo Yu Lake too. It's pretty big after all. Of course, I want you to tell them what I told you. If they want to see Wanqing again, they have to cultivate at Luo Yu Lake." Then Yi Mo took out 3 bottles of pills and gave them to Mu and Ani. "Mu, you've had these pills already, just give everyone one." Lan Yu and them hadn't seen these pills, but they knew they were substantial. Mu and was a prime example. They hadn't seen her for so long, and yet she seemed so young. Clearly this wasn't normal. "Go do what you need to do. I will go check on Wanqing's parents with Zhongfei soon," Lan Yu quickly said. "City Lord Huang, I don't get why not. You've seen the development of Luo Yu City in recent years. I'm not wrong. If we change that to be the World Trade and Economic Center, it would boost Luo Yu's economy again." The middle-aged man slammed his hand. Huang Yuinian waited till the man was done and said, "If I say no, then no. Other places are fine, but not there. Suo Zhen, I know Luo Yu's development is inseparable with your planning, but that is non-negotiable." Huang Yuinian called him by his full name. Clearly City Lord Huang was unhappy too. Suo Zhen slammed the table again and got up in agitation. He was almost yelling, "City Lord Huang, why is your brain as hard as wood? Luo Yu Lake is taking up such a huge place, and only the Ning Zhongfei couple are living there. This is a waste. And Luo Yu Lake's owner, Yi Mo, didn't do any procedures. One could say that land belongs to the government. We're not saying they can't live here, but we're just telling them to change places and make Luo Yu Lake the economic center. Look at all these economic policies I've made. Which one was wrong?" Yu Miaodan suddenly got up and said, "Suo Zhen, if you dare to call City Lord's name, straight out like, that I will remove you from the list of future City Lords. No one who doesn't respect the City Lord deserves to become the City Lord. City Lord is being polite, saying that Luo Yu belongs to everyone, but Luo Yu City is City Lord Yimo's city. Agree or not? That's the reality." Suo Zhen looked calmly at Yu Miaodan and said, "Does Vice City Lord you think this is a fascist time? You can remove my name however you like. One-person city? Luo Yu is now a democratic city. No one dares to call it one-person city." Huang Yuinian got up. "I agree with Vice City Lord Yu on this. Luo Yu City is one-person city, Yimo's city. No one can change that. Those who agree with us can stand up, those who don't can remain seated." Lu Lin, Guiqi, Li Sandao, Shixia, and Feng Wei got up without hesitation. Shun Qianqian also got up after a slight hesitation. There were more than 10 people in here, and more than half got up. Suo Zhen looked at Shun Qianqian with annoyance. "Director Shen, do you think I'm wrong? During these years, which of my policies didn't encourage the development of Luo Yu? Which one was of selfish intent?" Shun Qianqian's face changed, and after a while she said, "Vice City Lord Suo, you're right, and your contribution to Luo Yu City these years are undeniable, but I really don't get why you must take that Luo Yu Lake. I've said it many times. It's the place that can allow Luo Yu to soar into the skies," Suo Zhen said unhappily. Shun Qianqian shook her head. "I don't really mean it when I say I don't get it. Due to your contribution to Luo, you knowing that City Lord Huang, and you won't agree, I haven't said anything. But every meeting, you're trying to force this matter." "Oh, then tell me, Director Shen. Everyone sees how wholeheartedly I worked for Luo Yu City." "There's nothing I can say." Suo Zhen calmed down. Shun Qianqian continued, "If it was something else I would agree, but I owe Brother Yi a great deal. Without him, there wouldn't be me today. I love business, but after all these years, I've already realized my dream. I stay here not for my ideals, but to genuinely help brother Yes Luo Yu City. Shen Qianqian looked coldly at Suo Zhen. Do you know why I didn't stand up immediately? It's because I really don't want you to have conflict with everyone. Everyone knows Vice City Lord Suo's capabilities, and this is the main reason City Lord Huang lets you off. In here, no one is more suited to be the next City Lord besides you, but you're doubting who Luo Yu City belongs to. I'll tell you right now, Luo Yu City is brother, yes, no matter the time. I know you might not work wholeheartedly for Luo Yu City after this, but this is reality. Suo Zhen grunted. No matter what you say, my passion for Luo Yu City won't be lesser than any of you. No matter what opinions you have of me, I will still work for Luo Yu City. Everyone isn't calm now. I suggest to end the meeting and discuss it next time. Shen Qianqian shook her head. Since I chose to speak out today, I don't intend to discuss it next time. I know what you want. You indeed don't intend to harm Luo Yu City, but you're too selfish. Suo Zhen was about to say something, but Shen Qianqian waved her hand. Don't get agitated. Let me finish. I'm saying you're selfish because of Luo Yu Lake. Brother Yi chose that place himself. It's the best place in Luo Yu City. It's not just a place anymore. It's a symbolism of Luo Yu's creator. The longer the time passes, the more the citizens of Luo Yu City will respect it. And you want to take it first because that's the best place, but more importantly, your ambitions are too great. You want to replace Brother Yi. And when the World Economic Center is built, people will gradually forget the founder of Luo Yu, Yi Mo, and only remember the person who built this economic center, which would be you. Suo Zhen's face looked bad. This is a democratic world, not individual heroism. Director Shen, please don't say things like that. Shen Qianqian said calmly. You know, you're definitely the next city lord, so you just want everyone to remember you. I am the next city lord, but... Suo Zhen grunted. Wrong, you're not the next city lord, a calm voice interrupted him. City Lord Yi, everyone who stood up called out in surprise and joy. Yi Mo didn't change at all. Instead, he looked even younger. City Lord Yi, everyone who stood up called out in surprise and joy. Yi Mo didn't change at all. Instead, he looked even younger. Huang Yinian was overjoyed. He didn't expect to be able to see Yi Mo again, as none of those who went to the small world could come back, but Yi Mo came back. Huang Yinian got off his seat without hesitation and said, City Lord, you sit here. No one felt strange that Huang Yinian moved aside. As Yi Mo was back, City Lord, Yi Mo. Suo Zhen called out in shock. Yi Mo ignored him and smiled. Sister Yu, Lu Lin, Guiqi Li Sandao, Shishio, Feng Wei, Director Qianqian, long time no see. The heavy atmosphere in the meeting room became lightened. After Yi Mo sat down on Huang Yinian's seat and let everyone sit down, he said to Huang Yinian, City Lord Huang, thank you for leading Luo Yu City to such prosperity. Sit beside me. Huang Yinian was overjoyed that Yi Mo approved of his work and sat down next to Yi Mo without hesitation. Seeing Yi Mo sit down in the City Lord's seat without hesitation, there was a sliver of discomfort in Suo Zhen's eyes, but he said nothing. Suo Zhen's discomfort was caught by Li Sandao. Li Sandao sneered. How dare he act like that in front of Yi Mo? Even powerful people like Qianlong Tu and Dongfeng family were annihilated clean by Yi Mo. There was blood everywhere in this meeting room, but Suo Zhen was too young and didn't see it. Suo Zhen wanted to remove Yi Mo's status in Luo Yu City just because he made some contributions to Luo Yu City. He was mad. Luckily, he didn't tell Yi Mo to leave like the Dongfeng family, or no one would be able to save him. Yi Mo said, I've left Luo Yu for more than 10 years, and Luo Yu is looking so prosperous. Clearly, everyone here has worked hard. I thank you for that. Luo Yu City is our city. We are willing to do all that. Suo Zhen said. How could everyone not know what Suo Zhen meant? He was implying that Luo Yu isn't the Luo Yu before. It has nothing to do with you. We're not doing this for you, but for Luo Yu City. It was natural that capable people were cocky, but this guy dared to try take away Luo Yu Lake. This touched Yimo's bottom line. He established Luo Yu to build a peaceful environment, but it was important that Qingxue, Luo Ying, and them liked this environment. Put straightforwardly, he built this place for his family and friends, not to maintain world peace and equality. He wasn't that noble. He didn't allow anyone to assault anyone, especially anyone to assault his family and friends. Huang Yinian heard this and immediately knew things weren't good. Suo Zhen was capable, but his words already angered Yi Mo, and so he quickly said, Luo Yu City looks like this today, mostly due to Director Qian and Vice City Lord Suo. Yi Mo nodded. I heard that Luo Yu City land prices are very high. City Lord Yi, tell me the recent policies. Yi Mo wasn't going to intervene in politics and economy here, but since it involved Luo Yu Lake, he wasn't going to go easy. Yes. Huang Yinian sighed. He knew Yi Mo's character decently. He was old and didn't mind losing some face in front of young people for Luo Yu. After all, when he retired, Luo Yu would depend on these young people. But the founder was Yi Mo, and he wouldn't allow anyone to do that. Luo Yu City's immigration policy was changed. It's arranged due to assets. Only those with certain financial power can move to Luo Yu City. Those poor families can give their residence to wealthier people to live here. Huang Yinian said. Yi Mo immediately said coldly, from today on, Luo Yu City will stop migration. As for those who forcefully make poorer families move out of Luo Yu, kick them out of the city. Yes, Huang Yinian immediately nodded. Huang Yinian knew this would let Luo Yu become wealthy rapidly, but it wasn't the best long-term plan. Suo Zhen's face was very bad, but he didn't say anything. He made this policy. Yi Mo scanned his spirit sense and saw ships loaded with weapons about to leave, and immediately asked, why is Luo Yu weapons being shipped out? Because our weapons are leading the world, and many countries have ordered from us. If we sell weapons, we can earn large amounts of foreign income. Suo Zhen said. Who made this policy? Yi Mo asked. Suo Zhen immediately replied, I did. Those economic policies that allowed Luo Yu to rise up shortly were all made by me. Yes, the reason Luo Yu can have today is due to Vice City, Lord Suo's economic plans. Due to this, he is the anointed next city lord. Everyone agrees to this, and so does the people of Luo Yu. Another man in his 30s got up and said, seeing Yi Mo look at this person, Yu Miaodan quickly said, this is our new Luo Yu commercial vice director, Wan Ming. He's the next commercial director. He graduated from Harvard University. Yi Mo said plainly, the next city lord will be Shi Xiu. The next commercial director will be decided by Xin Qianqian. Choose someone who came from Luo Yu. As for Suo Zhen and Wan Ming, from today onwards, won't have any duties in Luo Yu City. City Lord Yi Yu. Suo Zhen got up, furiously seeing Yi Mo kick him out. Luo Yu is everyone's. I worked arduously for Luo Yu for so many years. What right do you have to do this? You have no position in Luo Yu right now, and left Luo Yu for so many years. What right do you have to point fingers at Luo Yu management? Luo Yu belongs to everyone, not someone. You have no authority to do this. Yi Mo said coldly, I said Luo Yu is everyone's, not you. Suo Zhen's face was green. Yi Mo meant that he didn't have the right to say Luo Yu is everyone's. Yi Mo asked Suo Zhen's details. No one knew what Yi Mo meant, but only Lu Lin. Moments later, a girl came into the meeting room. Luo Yu's security was on par with military bases. Yi Mo was powerful, and thus he could come in without being noticed, but this girl wasn't stopped too. The girl held a paper, but she didn't come in, and just read at the door, Suo Zhen, parents are American citizens. Graduated at Harvard 13 years ago, and went to Cambridge. After studying for 4 years, he graduated and came to Luo Yu. He came into the city lord estate within 3 years due to his knowledge and cleverness. 4 years ago, he was vice commercial director. 2 years ago, he became vice city lord and was anointed the next city lord. During his term as vice city lord, he was in content with American business tycoon Airsi. Airsi also has another identity. He's a member of a spy organization. Suo Jun was shivered hearing this. He had only been in contact with Airsi once, and this was investigated. Not only this, but even Airsi's identity was exposed. Just how many secrets were in Luo Yu that he didn't know? Wan Ming graduated from Yale 10 years ago. He has been in contact with Medusai from the CIA during his time studying. 6 years ago, he came to Luo Yu City and became the vice commercial director. The girl read emotionlessly. During their terms, Wan Ming and Suo Jin spilled military secrets twice and commercial secrets 5 times and used their means to launder few hundred million Luo Yu dollars. The Luo Yu Safety Department has decided to execute Suo Jin, Wan Ming, Yu Jinshin Bu Weizhang. On the day Suo Jin takes over as city lord and declare publicly their sins. During their terms, Wan Ming and Suo Jin spilled military secrets twice and commercial secrets 5 times and used their means to launder few hundred million Luo Yu dollars. The Luo Yu Safety Department has decided to execute Suo Jin, Wan Ming, Yu Jinshin Bu Weizhang. On the day Suo Jin takes over as city lord and declare publicly their sins. Then the girl bowed and exited the meeting room. The meeting room fell in tense silence. Yi Mo sneered. He could easily make Suo Jin say what he has done, but he wouldn't be the one managing Luo Yu later. Doing this had greater effect on fearing those with bad intentions. After all, the old people would retire and Luo Yu needed fresh blood. After the Dongfang family incident, Yi Mo was vigilant. He anointed Lu Lin, and she didn't disappoint him. Although she didn't take any actions, the investigation was very clear. Yu Miaodan and Huang Yinian sighed. After what happened last time, there was no way Yi Mo would let the same thing happen again. It was indeed so. Pity that Suo Jin, he was indeed capable. The reason Luo Yu was so developed was indeed greatly due to Suo Jin. So even though Suo Jin made some small mistakes, Huang Yinian pretended he didn't see. But Huang Yinian didn't know he spilled military secrets. Take him away, Yi Mo said coldly. So Jin yelled, Yi Mo, you have no right to do this to me. You're not a member of Luo Yu City government. This is dictatorship. This is desecration of human rights. But no matter how he yelled, he was taken away by Guiqi. Yi Mo shook his head. If this was Mo Yu City, he would have threw a fireball over already, but this was Luo Yu City, and many of them would be managing Luo Yu City. If he did this, it wouldn't be good. If he was going to stay here for long term, it was fine, but he was going to leave soon. After that, Yi Mo didn't involve in the discussion of Luo Yu matters, but just stayed on the side and listened. He also suggested that Luo Yu shouldn't be selling weapons as their main source of income. Luo Yu Pharmaceuticals was the best economic source. No matter what Suo Jin did, when Yi Mo came, all his means were rendered useless. Even if he took over Luo Yu Lake, what awaited him would be certain death. Luo Yu's Martial Academy not only protected the safety of high authorities in the city, but also protected Yi Mo's Luo Yu City. If Suo Jin took over Luo Yu Lake and kicked Yi Mo's family away, how can the Martial Academy let him go? Suo Jin was dominating politically in Luo Yu City, but he didn't know where Luo Yu's power truly laid. Even though Yi Mo said nothing, but him sitting here sped up the discussion. Sure, Xiu didn't have Suo Jin's brains, but there wouldn't be a huge problem with him managing the city. Yi Mo didn't participate in the afternoon discussion and just went back to Luo Yu Lake. Qi Wanqing's parents were already here, and they clearly all ate his pills. Qi Wanqing's mother immediately asked Yi Mo where Qi Wanqing was, but Yi Mo didn't know where she was as well. He could only say that she was safe in North Far State with Little Wolf. In the next few days, Yemo taught them cultivation, and regardless if they had spirit root or not, Yemo gave them a 5-essence pill. During this time, Yemo also spent a week planting 3 extreme grade spirit range below Luoyu Lake and 2 below Luoyu City. Then, he set up a level 9 attack formation, level 9 defense formation, and level 9 spirit gathering formation next to Luoyu Lake. He also set up another level 9 attack and defense formation outside Luoyu City. With this, even missiles wouldn't be able to get into Luoyu plus Luoyu had its own anti-missile system. Luoyu's spirit chi was so dense now that it could compare with South Peace State Pill City. Yemo didn't give the Jade card to controlling the formation to the city lord estate, but gave it to his father-in-law Ning Zhongfei. After that, Yemo was completely free, although Ning Siswang wanted Yemo to take her around and fly. But seeing everyone was cultivating, she didn't want to be dropped behind, so she cultivated too. Yemo didn't piece together the yin-yang fish. Instead, he found a quiet place and searched for Yunbing and Ting Ting with his spirit sense. If they weren't living well, Yemo would bring them over, but if they were, he wouldn't disturb them. He spent an entire morning, and even left Luoyu City just to cover all the countries on Earth, but Yemo was disappointed. He wasn't able to find them. Half a day had passed, and Yemo was very tired. He used a spirit recovery pill and rested for half a day before barely recovering his spirit sense. Although he knew Yunbing wouldn't go back to Beijing Yun family, but he still decided to go there and ask after he pieced together the yin-yang fish. Yemo was level 9 forgery grandmaster and formation grandmaster. He really wanted to know what level Chu Jiyu's forgery and formation skills were at to be able to create such a formation disc. Soon, the pieces were connected. Crack, the yin-yang fish had no spirit waves or power, but it closed together tightly. One could not tell that they were pieces just then. This wasn't it. The dull yin-yang fish turned very lustrous after rejoining together. Yemo took in a cold breath. He realized that this fish was a formation disc formation heart. He thought fish jump through Dragon Gate was a one-way teleportation formation, but now it seemed he was wrong. He didn't think he would be able to make such a formation disc. Thus, that Chu Jiyu was at least a low-grade immortal formation master. Yemo sighed. Compared with Chu Jiyu, his talent wasn't talent. He had this accomplishment today due to luck, but what did Chu Jiyu rely on? He flipped the fish around and was helpless. He could tell this was a space travel formation disc. It had the same use as space transmission rune, but it was better than that. The rune needed extremely powerful spirit chi to activate, but this didn't. Thus, it was clear that either Chu Jiyu didn't know rune making, or he knew that space transmission rune wouldn't work on Earth. So he changed the rune into a formation disc. This not only required solid formation skills, but also very powerful forgery skills and knowledge of tearing dimensions. Yemo was helpless because he could tell that the pieces were joined, but he couldn't activate it. This was a formation heart. It still lacked a formation disc. Only when the two combined together could he use this. This meant that he had the fish but not the gate, and thus he can't jump through it. Yemo knew that if his formation skills were a little higher, he would be able to make this formation disc himself. Yemo put the fish away and had decided to check on Zaishan again. When he scanned his spirit sense there at his antique shop, he didn't see Zaishan, but his granddaughter, Ning, was there. In a restaurant outside the Ning, Hai Uni Chu Dan's father Chu Heng's face kept changing. In a restaurant outside the Ning, Hai Uni Chu Dan's father Chu Heng's face kept changing. Chu Dan sat opposite him, but didn't dare to talk. The reason Chu Heng came was because she had thought about things for a week and called him again. This time, Chu Dan said more certainly. She said she definitely saw Yemo fly, and fly on clouds. He felt his daughter wasn't lying, but he was worried that something was wrong mentally with her, and that's why Chu Heng rushed to Ning Hai. I really saw it. I was dumbfounded at the time, so I didn't capture it with my phone. Chu Dan said again. Chu Heng waved his hand. I know you're telling the truth. I checked your university's recording. There was no sign of Ning Siswang leaving. As for her brother-in-law, there was no footage of him going in or not. It was though he appeared out of nowhere and disappeared into nothing. Plus, the pictures your university's news department was also blurry. It was too much of a coincidence to say the cameras happened to break at that time. So, I know you're telling the truth. Then what do we do? Chu Dan's voice was desperate. Thinking that Ning Siswang dropped out of university to pursue cultivation, her heart was burning like fire. She couldn't bear that her opponent was on the path to immortality, while she was fighting over an image representative. Chu Heng sighed. We have no way. We can't find the person taking Ning Siswang to cultivate, but even if we find him, what can we do? I really didn't expect there is such thing in the world. What does that Ning Siswang have? Why was that little girl chosen by the cultivator? Chu Dan asked desperately. Chu Heng knew his daughter better than anyone. He knew that her daughter was being jealous. He felt that she should wake up from this. If she was sunk into this, she perhaps would have no future. Thinking about this, Chu Heng said seriously, Dan, it's said that those cultivators need to balance yin and yang, and thus they're especially interested in virgin girls. So it might not be a bad thing that you didn't encounter him. If it's a powerful cultivator who wants to take you away, it's useless to even call the police. Chu Dan raised her lips but didn't argue. She clearly didn't agree to her father's words. As long as she could cultivate, she would be willing to do anything. She even cursed Yimo's eyes. What did Ning Siswang have? Her chest was that small and was a far cry compared to her. She still seemed like a baby. That cultivator must be blind to take this little girl. And Ning was playing with a jade in her boredom, but her eyes weren't focused on the jade. Long time no see. And Ning, Emma walked in, and she didn't even notice. Seeing this, Ning looked up and immediately recognized Emma. She said in shock, You're Emma? You're back? Emma looked at Ning's necklace. After all these years, it was still the same. Emma nodded. I just came back. Where is your grandpa? You came to find my grandpa? And Ning subconsciously asked, I thought you came to find Jiqi. Emma just remembered. How is Jiqi? And Ning said dejectedly, She has been missing for more than a decade. Sister Yun brought Ting Ting to find you at Luoyu, but met Ziki, who just came back. She said that you had left Luoyu City. Sister Yun was very disappointed and left with Ting Ting. Chi said she would send Sister Yun back, and they disappeared. You're saying Yun Bing came to Luoyu to find me? Emma asked in shock. MHM. And Ning nodded. Emma fell silent. Missing for more than a decade. Did they go to the teleportation formation at Duan Hung Ranges too? A lot of people left Luoyu City to go to the teleportation formation too, including Eru, Zhangjian, Su Yuehua, Fong Nan, and so. Yun Bing came at that time. Who knows if she went in too? But that also meant that Yun Bing didn't go back to the Yun family, so he didn't need to go visit there. And Ning suddenly said, My grandpa passed away 3 years ago. Did you need something? Hearing this, Emma sighed. On Earth, if you don't cultivate. So what if you live more than 100 years? You would still end up as Earth. Emma asked. I traded the fisheye your grandpa gave you. And he also gave me a jade card. He said that Zhang Zhihui gave it to him. Do you know where Zhang Zhihui got it? And Ning shook her head. I don't know. I never asked Grandpa about these things. Emma didn't have the mood to stay anymore, and thanked her before turning to leave. And Ning said at this moment, City Lord Yi. When Sister Yun left, she said that if you came back, you can go to where she lived in Ninghai. She says she has something for you. Although she's gone, but I feel I need to tell you that. Emma nodded and left the shop unhappily. After going back to Luoyu Lake, Emma told Ning Qingshue's parents that he would be leaving Luoyu again. They didn't say anything they knew that Emma couldn't. stay, and they couldn't leave with him. Perhaps one day, when they reach a level of cultivation, they can leave with Yi Mo to visit their daughter in Mo City. Yi Mo had decided to visit Yun Bing's palsy first, and then set up a few level 9 attack formation in the wilderness and attack the void. Then he would try to tear the dimension. If that didn't work, he would go see if he can repair the formation at Duanheng Ranges. Leaving Luoyu, Yi Mo suddenly felt sad. He actually didn't know where his home was, nor where he should go. He didn't fly high. Seagulls passed below his feet on the Indian Ocean. Yi Mo suddenly was shook. Why was he hesitating? He needed to get to Mo City. His wife and friends were all there. Realizing this, Yi Mo's heart opened up. He felt his understanding of state increased, and his domain was perfected more. Yi Mo howled and disappeared on Zisu in the sky. The worst thing for cultivators was hesitation. Luckily, he had been cultivating next to the bitter bamboo, or his mind would have been invaded by the heart demon. Ninghai, Yi Mo, was planning to go to Yunbing's house, but his spirit sense scanned Ning Shuyan. She was still at Ninghai University. Thinking about this, Yi Mo relayed why she was here. She was probably here to find Ning Siswang. Ning Shuyan didn't seem to be in a good mood. She probably didn't find Ning Siswang and was sitting dazedly by the lake. Yi Mo had decided to tell her, but as soon as he walked into the forest, an extremely excited voice stopped him. "Brother-in-law, I found you again. Please don't fly away again. Whatever Siswang has, I have too. Mine is better than hers." That voice said shakily. It was Chu Dan. He didn't even need to think why she stopped him. Before Yi Mo could talk, Chu Dan suddenly pulled down her top, and even half of her blue bra showing 2 huge snow-white rabbits. Before Yi Mo could talk, Chu Dan suddenly pulled down her top, and even half of her blue bra showing 2 huge snow-white rabbits. The sturdy red points on the white rabbits were very vibrant. Even Yi Mo had to approve that her chest was extremely beautiful. Although Yi Mo could stop her from doing that, he didn't do it. What she did had nothing to do with him. Even if she was going to strip herself naked, it had nothing to do with me. Look, I won't be any worse than Ning Siswang. I'm a virgin. I definitely am. I promise I will listen to you, and I will do anything you tell me to, Chu Dan said, as though fearing Yi Mo would fly away. Then she reached out her hand to grab his hand, as though wanting to let Yi Mo feel her chest. Yi Mo sneered. How could he let Chu Dan grab his hand? He didn't want to talk to her anymore. But as he was about to leave, Ning Shuyan ran over. Ning Shuyan saw Chu Dan with messy clothes and a worried face, and also saw Yi Mo sneering. She was shook. She really didn't understand why Yi Mo was doing this here. Before she could speak, a few other students saw this, and also ran over. Ning Shuyan quickly helped Chu Dan pull up her clothes covering her chest before pulling Yi Mo away. Yi Mo was looking for her anyways, so he didn't resist her pulling him away. When Chu Dan realized what was going on, Yi Mo and Ning Shuyan had turned a corner and disappeared into the trees. Ning Shuyan was very worried, harassing a female student in the school and tearing off her bra. If Yi Mo was caught, he would be sent to jail. Yi Mo had the capability to not go jail, but he was Luoyu City Lord. If news got out, he would be ashamed. She really didn't understand why Yi Mo would publicly do this to a girl. Plus, even if Yi Mo did something HWO, could he let other people see it? Yi Mo. Ning Shuyan's hands were shaky, and her face was very bad. We should leave quickly. If other people see you do this, you're over. Yi Mo sighed and pulled away his hand. Don't worry, seeing that Yi Mo wasn't worried at all. Ning Shuyan said more anxiously, it's all too easy to take photos now. We should leave quickly. If you really need it, even I'm fine. Don't do this to students here. Sishuang's parents care about their face. Yi Mo looked at Ning Shuyan strangely, not expecting her to do this. Ning Xian knew Yi Mo misunderstood her and quickly explained, I'm saying even if you do something to me, you can't do that to the students here. Or not now. Ning Xian felt she was getting too desperate, so she stopped talking. She knew Yi Mo had understood her meaning. Yi Mo sighed compared to the Ning Xian a decade ago. This Ning Xian changed so much. Perhaps due to the fall of the Ning family, she learned a lot of things. Yi Mo waved his hand, Xian. Don't worry. I'm not that desperate. It's a misunderstanding before. I came here to find you. Ning Xian didn't believe this at all. First of all, Yi Mo didn't even know she was here. Second, she saw that girl's bra being pulled down. That girl wasn't crazy. Why would she do that to herself? Clearly, Yi Mo did it. But before she said anything, Chu Dan ran over. She didn't even tidy up her clothes. Ning Xian's face changed again and wanted to pull Yi Mo away. But Chu Dan ran over and knelt on the ground. Immortal Master, I can do anything. Just please take me in as a disciple. Ning Xian dazed. What was going on? Was this girl mentally challenged? What did she mean kneeling on the ground and calling Yi Mo an immortal master, looking at her pretty face and desperate eyes? She clearly wasn't mentally ill. It was obvious just looking at her face that she was very cunning. Yi Mo knew what Chu Dan wanted, but there was no way he would take someone like her as a disciple, whether it was what she did to Ning Siswang or what she did just then. It all showed that she was a woman who would do anything to get what she wanted. Yi Mo really disliked this. Let's go, Yi Mo said to Ning Xian. Ning Xian also seemed to realize that Yi Mo didn't harass this girl, but this girl did it herself. Seeing that Yi Mo was going to go, Chu Dan was desperate and quickly crawled up to pull Yi Mo's clothes, but she felt that she couldn't move at all. She further confirmed her guess in her heart and was overjoyed and desperate. Immortal Master, my Chu family used to cultivate too. Now, we still have a dragon door disc that was passed down. Chu Dan said desperately. She didn't need to say no more. As Yi Mo stopped, he heard that dragon door disc, and he realized that her name was Chu. Yi Mo turned around, and she was overjoyed. She didn't know why Yi Mo turned around, but she knew she had hope now. Your Chu family has a dragon door disc? Yi Mo asked. Chu Dan quickly said, yes, my Chu family ancestor passed it down. My father called it dragon door disc. If Immortal Master wants to take me in, as disciple, I can get my father to give the disc to you. I'm also willing to serve by your side. Ning Xian completely realized what was going on. She knew Yi Mo was very powerful, but she was still doubtful about him being an immortal master. She felt quite embarrassed that she thought Yi Mo was very horny before. Where is your house? Yi Mo asked, and Chu Dan felt she could move again. Chu Dan was so overjoyed that her heart was palpitating rapidly. She quickly said, Luo Tsang. Yi Mo didn't expect Chu Dan to be from Luo Tsang. He had been there a few times and bought a house there. Yi Mo asked again, be specific. Xian Yun Road, 763. It's a private mansion. Yi Mo's spirit sense already scanned there. It was a very big private mansion. It was luxurious and had a lot of land. Clearly, the Chu family was very wealthy. Yi Mo scanned his spirit sense in and didn't take much time to find a dragon door disc contained in a huge jade box inside a safety keep in the main bedroom. Just that huge jade box was priceless. Yi Mo saw the dragon door disc and knew it was the thing he was looking for. Yi Mo realized this Chu Dan quite possibly was Chu Jiyu's descendant and Lin Yibin's Wanbei. Thinking about the loyal Lin Yibin, Yi Mo was hesitating. If it was some ordinary person, he would take the dragon door disc and give some compensation. But Lin Yibin was his helpful assistant. He clearly can't agree to her being his disciple, but if he disagreed, he would feel guilty to Lin Yibin. He really didn't like this Chu Dan. Yi Mo said to Chu Dan, go wait for me at the school gates. I'm busy, I'll go find you later. Yi Mo said to Chu Dan, go wait for me at the school gates. I'm busy, I'll go find you later. Chu Dan showed her wits now, and let immediately. She knew that if Yi Mo was really going to leave, there was no point of her staying here. Then Ning Xian asked in confusion, What is this? How is your company? Yi Mo asked casually. Ning Xian nodded. I'm planning to give the Ning Family Corporation to Ning Yang for management. I'm going to move to Luoyu. Yi Mo said casually. Sis Wang has gone back to Luoyu. If you want to go to Luoyu, then go to Luoyu Lake to find Sis Wang. If you want to cultivate, then cultivate with Sis Wang. If you don't want to cultivate, settling in Luoyu is a good choice too. Ning Xian shook her head, clearly not interested in cultivation. Yi Mo saw this and didn't say much. I'm going. What, already? Ning Xian subconsciously asked. Yes, if you have anything you can ask Xishuang's father for help. Goodbye. Yi Mo disappeared in front of her. Ning Xian stared dazedly at this scene, and after a long while, she sighed and walked towards the uni gates. Chu Dan stood in the middle of the school gates. Even though the security guards reminded her a few times, she didn't want to move to the side, fearing that Yi Mo wouldn't see her. But she knew that it was impossible. She was more scared that Yi Mo didn't take her seriously and forgot about it. Just when she was still nervous, she suddenly felt she was grabbed into the air. She was shook, but then she immediately rejoiced. She guessed that only that brother-in-law would have such heavenly means. Yi Mo wasn't going to give up on her. He could easily take the Dragon Door disc, but he couldn't do that. Even stealing from an ordinary family was lowering his identity. Plus, Chu Dan was Lin Yibin's Wanbei. Chu Dan was standing on Yi Mo's flying ship spirit artifact, and although in a better state than Ning Siswang, she was still shaking. Little did she know that Yi Mo was also excited. He didn't think the Dragon Door disc was so easily obtained. He can easily leave Earth and head to Luoyu continent now. When Chu Dan calmed down, he asked plainly, I do need that Dragon Door disc, but I won't take you in as a disciple. You can either choose to have eternal youth, or I can give you the cultivation resource and cultivation method, and you cultivate yourself. Huh? Chu Dan's joy cooled down by half. She already said she could do everything Ning Siswang was doing. Why didn't he want to take her in? I can do everything Siswang can do. I can do it better than her. Chu Dan wanted to fight for it regardless. Yi Mo's tone went cold. I'll say it one more last time. Which one do you want? Yi Mo had decided that if Chu Dan was still going to pester him, he would just take the Dragon Door disc and take away both options. He approved of her attitude to cultivate at all costs, but he really dined like her as a person. Her emotional quotient was much higher than Ning Siswang, and the second time Yi Mo asked this, she knew there it was non-negotiable. She said without hesitation, I want cultivation method and resource. She wants dumb. One clearly would preserve her youth if she achieved something in cultivation. Yi Mo nodded. Then go get your Dragon Door disc. We're already here? Chu Dan looked at the mansion in shock. This was clearly her house. How long has it been and they were here? Chu Heng came home with fatigue, but before he sat down, the maid said Dan is back. What? Chu Heng asked in shock. He just came back from Ning Hai, and when he left his daughter was still at uni. How could she bed at home so quickly? How can things be this eerie? Maid asked in shock. CEO, didn't you go to Ning Hai? I thought you came back with Dan. Dan brought back a friend, and they've been upstairs for 3 hours. What friend? Chu Heng asked nervously. A very handsome young boy. Before she finished, Chu Heng already dashed upstairs. He knew his daughter was in a relationship and he didn't disapprove, but she was not allowed to bring him home. When he forced open his daughter's room, he remembered that the answer to how she was even here wasn't even solved. Thinking about this, he was cold. Dad, I gave the Dragon Door disc to someone else. Chu Dan said. Chu Heng was furious. He roared, are you crazy? That's passed down by our ancestor. Who took it? Tell me, I'm going to ask for it back again. Chu Dan put down a few jade bottles and said calmly, "It's that immortal I told you about. I met him again, and he flew me back. He took the Dragon Door disc and gave me a bunch of cultivation resource. Dad, did I do things wrong? At least I can cultivate now." Chu Heng's fury dissipated, and he calmed down. He already believed his daughter already. If she wasn't flown back, how could she come back so quickly? "Are you for real? Where is the cultivation method?" Chu Heng asked. Chu Dan pointed her at head. "That person is too powerful. He says I can't read jade slips, so he just inserted the cultivation method in my brain. It's as clear as if I'm reading a book. I was just looking at the chi increasing pill." Chu Heng took a cold breath in. For real? He suddenly thought of something and asked nervously, "Did he do anything to you, such as?" Chu Dan sneered. "If that happened, it would be great. Dad, I thought you said he would take me as his disciple if I was willing to do anything for him, but he didn't even want to look at me. I really don't get why that Ning Siswang is better than me. Even though she's his disciple, I will surpass her with my own effort." Chu Heng took a cold breath in. He felt he was far from understanding his daughter. Yi Mo came to Yun Bing's place after taking the Dragon Door disc. There was a layer of dust on everything, and Yi Mo casually swiped them away. That time, he disabled Zheng Wenxiao and another man, and soon so many years had passed. Yi Mo came into her room. The colors was still so simple, and a picture of her and Ting Ting hung on the wall. Yi Mo took the picture. He would keep it for memory. Suddenly, he saw a faint blue letter stuck behind the photo. Yi Mo opened it and saw, "If you came and still remember us, you can see the letter Yun Bing." There was another line of small worlds. "When I was born, you weren't. When you were born, I'm already old. I regret not being born the same time as you and spend every day with you." Yi Mo looked at this and sighed. He couldn't repay her feelings. He couldn't even find her. Yi Mo put the picture and storage ring in his storage ring. When Yi Mo left Ning Hai again, he knew that everything here would not be related to him anymore. He was leaving here. There was a lot of people waiting for him at Mou City. Moments later, Yi Mo came to the depth of the desert, Taklamakan Desert, to activate the formation disc. 1,000 extreme grade spirit stones were set into a spirit gathering formation. This formation disc didn't need a lot of spirit chi, but just in case he still set this up, he only had one chance. 1,000 extreme grade spirit stones were set into a spirit gathering formation. This formation disc didn't need a lot of spirit chi, but just in case he still set this up, he only had one chance. He knew that less than 1% of these spirit stones would be used after the activation, but he didn't mind. Whoever can get those unused spirit stones would be their fortune. These spirit stones can keep one healthy and extend one's life even if they weren't absorbed. Then Yi Mo took out the fish jump through Dragon Gate formation disc and placed the yin-yang fish and the Dragon Door disc together. Yi Mo placed the formation disc in his hand and started inserting cultivation essence. Soon, it left Emo's hand and started spinning quickly. It started off slow, but as it devoured the spirit chi from Emo's spirit gathering formation, it spun rapidly until a faint light enveloped Emo. 15 minutes later, there was a sudden explosion, and a black figure disappeared. Nothing was left in this desert, but only the remnant broken Dragon Door disc showed that someone had left here. Emo realized that instant that even if he didn't use extreme grade spirit stones, this space transmission formation disc would still be useful, but Emo didn't care. He cared about if he could use this opportunity to learn about space transmission, but Emo realized he overestimated himself. Even with his powerful spirit sense, he was a little dizzy. He couldn't check his surrounding at all. If it was some ordinary person, he would have fainted already. Thud. Emo woke up, and he found he was on an island. Heartless Sea? Emo looked around and rejoiced. He knew he came back to the Heartless Sea indeed. It didn't teleport him to any big state, and he still landed in the Heartless Sea. Some minor problems probably happened to the space formation disk. Otherwise, he wouldn't be falling into the Heartless Sea. Not everyone could leave the Heartless Sea safely, but Yemo didn't mind. He still had a flying ship for Mean Sue, and that flying ship speed is just a little lesser than Blue Moon. With his current power, it would be completely for it to fly back to South Peace State. Yemo stood on the coral island and sighed. He just needed to confirm how far South Peace State was. Yemo took out a compass and wanted to see where he was in the Heartless Sea. Just a few thousand km ahead, there was a powerful cultivation essence wave. People were fighting. Yemo scanned his spirit sense over, and soon he was speechless to find that he knew all three of them. It was a truth realization state level 6 and a truth realization state level 9, wanting to stop a truth realization state level 4 female cultivator. This female cultivator had low cultivation level, but was very powerful and charged out of their barricade many times. That Truth Realization State Level 9 and Truth Realization State Level 6 were the cultivators Yemo had seen in the Dragon Tongue Palace. The female cultivator was the Lost Soul Ruins nude female cultivator Miao Huizhen. After his deal with her, she said he saved her and would forever treat him as her benefactor. Yemo didn't mind. As if he didn't save her, she wouldn't let him go. Luckily, she was credible and didn't attack him after he saved her. But even though she was very powerful, she was only Truth Realization State Level 4 and was heaving injured under the combined attacks of the other two cultivators. Yemo didn't intend to join this battle, and just when he was about to leave, he saw her flying towards him. Yemo immediately knew that her spirit sense scanned him and wanted to use him. Yemo cursed her. She completely forgot what she said about him before. Yemo hid his power again. He was scared of trouble, but he wasn't scared of these truth realization state cultivators. Moments later, they came to where Yemo was. "It's you?" the three said in unison. Miao Huizhen frowned after saying this, but the other two were overjoyed. "I've been searching for you for so long. I finally see you again today." "Great, this is great. I'm Lan Chirui, Qiqian Island leader." That Truth Realization State Level 9 quickly said. Heaven Grade Level 7 Pill King, one that was about to reach Heaven Grade Level 8 Pill King. What was more enticing than this in the Heartless Sea? "I'm Huang Qi of Yilin Island." The other Truth Realization State Level 6 introduced. If it was some ordinary low-level cultivator, he would have kicked him away already. "So it's Island Lord Lan and Island Lord Huang. I didn't expect for us to meet again." So quickly, Yemo saluted with his fists calmly. He wanted to get back to South Peace State as quickly as possible, but he could ask the two the way. Yemo said to Miao Huizhen, "Sister Miao, we met again so quickly too." Before she could talk, Lan Chirui laughed. "So Sister Miao is Pil Kingya's friend. Then you're our friend. Apologies for the offense before." Moments later, Miao Huizhen realized she went from being hunted to being a friend. Yemo hid his power, but Miao Huizhen knew Yemo was only Cauldron Filling State Level 2. Yemo was this young. How could he be a Pil King? "This place isn't very far from my Qiqian Island. Come with us to my island Pil King Yi. It's a shabby island, but we won't mistreat Pil King Yi. We can have a celebration. By the way, you must come, haha," Lan Chirui said. Miao Huizhen was locked up in the Lost Soul Ruins, but she knew from these simple words that Yemo really was a Pil King, and these two clearly didn't want to let Yemo go. Realizing this, Miao Huizhen got a headache. She had sworn before to treat Yemo as her savior, but she can't even save herself now. Clearly it was impossible to save Yemo, but if she didn't help, her oath was very deadly. Divine damnation devouring her heart that was breaking off her Tao path. Thinking about this, Miao Huizhen regretted coming here. Yi Mo smiled, plainly. Very sorry, but I have other business. I can't go with you to your shabby island. Lan Shirwei was being humble, saying his island was shabby, and he invited Yi Mo with underlying threat intentions. This Pilkingyi was too cocky. Lan Shirwei's face sunk immediately. Huang Qi suddenly reached out with his cultivation essence giant hand and sneered, "It's not up to you." Yi Mo sneered and released his power. His domain expanded, and before Hang Qi's cultivation essence giant hand reached Yi Mo, it crippled. Immediately, Huang Qi felt he was bound completely. Perfect domain, Huang Qi said in shock, wanting to break free. He did break free, but because of his underestimation, he doesn't have the chance to release his magic artifact. One purple ray flashed, and Huang Qi was split in half. An essence spirit was then crushed by Yi Mo's cultivation essence giant hand. One move, and Huang Qi was dead. No matter how Huang Qi underestimated Yi Mo, he was a truth realization state middle stage. Lan Qirui's face looked bad, and Miao Huizhen was so shocked she couldn't speak. Lan Qirui immediately realized Yi Mo was definitely a truth realization state cultivator, a very powerful one. He definitely hit his power last time. With Yi Mo's lethal strike, Lan Qirui estimated that even he was no match for Yi Mo. Such a powerful truth realization state cultivator and a high-level Pilking, Lan Qirui didn't want to be enemies with him. He smiled awkwardly and saluted with his fists. "Since Pilking, Yi doesn't want to come to my shabby island, then I'll be leaving first." Then he was about to leave. But Yi Mo said calmly, "Island Lord Lan is so free, coming and going as you please." Yi Mo took Huang Qi's storage ring, and then flicked Su as he looked calmly at Lan Qirui. Yi Mo took Huang Qi's storage ring, and then flicked Su as he looked calmly at Lan Qirui. Lan Qirui's face changed. Although he knew that he was no match for Yi Mo, but Yi Mo's words were too abusive. He was a truth realization state level 9 cultivator, and he wasn't even allowed to go. Miao Huizhen finally woke up from her shock. The age she was at was far older than Lan Qirui and Yi Mo. She wasn't an ancient cultivator, but she had been through countless times. She had never seen a young and dominant cultivator like Yi Mo. A truth realization state level 9 wasn't even allowed to go in front of him. Even if some cultivator dared to say this, he would be extremely powerful. How many could be young like Yi Mo? At the same time, she also didn't understand. She fought with Yi Mo. He was only cauldron-filling state level 2 before, so how did he reach truth realization state in such a short time that she can't even see his power level? "Pilking Yi, do you want to forcefully keep me here?" Lan Qirui said, and exploded his power. Yi Mo sneered. His force was powerful, but his domain was weak. In other words, he was a tiger made of paper. Yi Mo was certain that if Yin Su and Lan Qirui fought, Lan Qirui would be killed soon if he doesn't run. "You're right, I'm going to keep you. What are you going to do?" Yi Mo didn't like trouble, but for those who messed with him, he wouldn't mind having some trouble. Lan Qirui's face was red. He said those words and released his power to let Yi Mo know he was a truth realization state level 9 cultivator, and let Yi Mo have some concerns. Then he would give something to compensate him, and so he can leave. But Yi Mo wasn't affected by his chi at all, and still didn't show any respect. Lan Qirui waved his hand, and a golden light circulated around his body before landing in his hands. Yi Mo saw it was a pair of phoenix rings. They were entwined, and an extreme grade cultivation artifact. Ring shadows flew around Lan Qirui, and even without attacking, the spinning rhythm and the cultivation essence waves made even Miao Huizhen dizzy. Seeing this, she felt very lucky that she was even able to escape for that long from Lan Qirui. The ring hadn't attacked, but it already made buzzing sounds, and that force made people feel that if you were encompassed inside, you would be obliterated. Lan Qirui didn't attack, and just looked coldly at Yi Mo, meaning that, if you want to fight, I'm not scared of you. Yi Mo smiled. He had even fought Suwa Anshan and Shirtaa. This ordinary truth realization state, level 9, really didn't concern him at all. Yi Mo hacked out with Sisu, Illusion Cloud, Hua Mountain Strike. Only this move could make Yi Mo feel free. Ever since going into the void, Yi Mo hadn't been able to fight freely. Lan Shui saw this and released the rings with full power. The golden rings immediately expanded into 2 nearly 300-meter-long golden rings. At the same time, the countless smaller golden rings formed a golden ring pillar wanting to attack Yi Mo from inside the golden circle. There was an extreme scorching sensation, and the 2 300-meter-long rings had a powerful suction force. Yi Mo sneered and released his power again. With the surge of his cultivation essence, the space around him was about to freeze. Lan Shui felt his dual rings start to slow down, and the 2 main rings shrink. His face changed greatly. There had been all too many truth realization state cultivators on Luo Yu continent since the ancient times, but which of them could perfect his domain? But now he believed it. Yi Mo truly perfected his domain. His dual rings had been suppressed, and if he can't break free of Yi Mo's domain quickly, they would be completely subjugated. If his magic artifact was subjugated, then he would be in danger. Lan Shui started burning his essence blood without hesitation. When the dual rings loosened, he breathed easy and was about to retreat. Rumble. Before he retreated, Zisu hacked onto the dual rings. The unfinished ring pillar instantly crippled, splashing golden light everywhere. The purple ray wasn't done yet. It also sliced across Lan Shui's chest. Splurge! Lan Shui's cultivation artifact armor was hacked open, bring a stream of blood flying out in the air. At the same time, Lan Shui's cultivation essence backlashed on him, and he spat blood flying out a few hundred meters. Midway, he ate a pill and quickly yelled, "Pill King Yi, I admit defeat, please forgive me for my past offense." Yi Mo didn't keep hunting Lan Shui. He knew that Lan Shui wasn't heavily injured. If he used his full power, he could kill Lan Shui, but it would be troublesome. The main thing was that the dual rings were strange, and Yi Mo felt Lan Shui didn't use its full power, not even half. He didn't know if it was that Lan Shui couldn't control it or he hid his power. Regardless, if Lan Shui was willing to pay compensation, then he wouldn't mind letting him go. His main goal now wasn't to fight this island lord, but get back to Mou City. Seeing Yi Mo stopping, Lan Shui breathed easy. He didn't think of running away from Yi Mo. If he could, then Yi Mo wouldn't be so casual. He was cursing in his heart. Yi Mo, you top-level truth realization state cultivator. Why would you be so bored to pretend to be a low-level cultivator? Even if he wanted Yi Mo to concoct pills for him, he would connect with him and show his genuine attitude. Miao Huizhen looked at Yi Mo in shock, rejoicing that she didn't try to run away. She didn't expect Yi Mo to be this powerful. She knew how powerful Lan Shui was. And if it wasn't that she had a few ancient escape techniques, she would have died many times already. Yet a truth realization state level 9 like this was injured in moments to Yi Mo, and he admitted defeat. Cultivators had pride, and admitting defeat wasn't easy. Lan Shui hesitated for a long while before taking out a jade box to Yi Mo. "Pill King Yi, you're a level 9 Pill King. I happen to have a level 9 spirit herb marrow essence mushroom. Now it's yours, Pill King Yi." Hearing this, Yi Mo's face sunk. It was rather precious in the Heartless Sea. Any spirit herb that was level 9 was precious, but Yi Mo had a whole pile of them in the Golden Page world. Seeing this, Lan Shui immediately knew things wasn't good. Suddenly, Yi Mo's power rose drastically. Lan Shui was shook. This power was much more dominant than before. Did Yi Mo not even use his full power? Thinking about this, Lan Shui didn't dare to hesitate at all, and took out a faint blue jade box. "I have something here that Pilkingi might be interested in." Yi Mo took the jade box and opened it. He immediately found a rare flame inside. It was Earth Flame, the 16th ranked in the cultivation realm Dragonheart Flame. It was ranked 16th, but it was very rare as it was from a dragon core. For dragon-related spirit beasts, it was better than Heaven Flame. Yi Mo took the jade box and opened it. He immediately found a rare flame inside. It was Earth Flame, the 16th ranked in the cultivation realm Dragonheart Flame. It was ranked 16th, but it was very rare as it was from a dragon core. For dragon-related spirit beasts, it was better than Heaven Flame. Yi Mo was very happy seeing the Dragonheart Flame. Even if he didn't need it, there would be people around him who would need it. Seeing Yi Mo take it, Lan Qirui finally breathed easy and ached in his heart. This was a very hard-to-get rare flame, and now he lost it for no reason. Lan Qirui didn't want to stay here for a minute, so he smiled awkwardly and saluted with his fists. "Pilkingi, in that case, I won't stay here anymore." Yi Mo immediately nodded and just wanted to agree when Miao Huizhen suddenly said, "Wait." Lan Qirui didn't think much of Miao Huizhen, but he had to look at Yi Mo. Yi Mo looked at Miao Huizhen in confusion. She said to Yi Mo, "The reason he had that Huang Qi wanted to kill me was because I found a big secret, and they wanted to seal my mouth." Lan Qirui's face changed drastically, but he quickly said, "It's no secret, just a few sealed spirit ranges were found under the Lost Soul ruins." Yi Mo heard this and lost interest. He still had tens of extreme grade spirit ranges in his Golden Page world. If it was some other time, he might be willing to spend some time to get it, but not now. Miao Huizhen sneered. "It's definitely not a few spirit ranges. It's a spirit-nourishing well. With those few spirit ranges there just to preserve it." Hearing this, Yi Mo's heart shook. How could he not know what a spirit-nourishing well was? The hardest thing to improve for a cultivator was spirit sense. Spirit sense usually improved slower than your cultivation level. Spirit sense was even more important to cultivators than cultivation essence. So all cultivators would try to improve their spirit sense. There were very few spirit items that could improve one's spirit sense power. Even the spirit recovery pill was just to repair the spirit sense, not improve it. But the spirit-nourishing well was something that could increase spirit sense. And it was very rare. If you drank from this well or cultivated next to it, your spirit sense would grow faster than ordinary cultivators, even with a spirit sense cultivation method. What shook Yi Mo was that he knew from Thing there were two types of spirit-nourishing wells. One was natural, formed by extreme grade spirit items or spirit chi. Once it was used up, it would completely disappear. Another was formed by the spirit refining pearl, and the value of it was immeasurable. Spirit refining pearls were formed after billions of years with a unique essence spirit chi in the world. Once it had formed, the pearl would form a spirit-nourishing well around it with adequate spirit supply. Usually, if someone found a spirit-refining pearl, he wouldn't take it away. Instead, he would provide spirit chi to it, so it could form the spirit-nourishing well. Yi Mo also saw from Thing that once in the immortal realm, the spirit-refining pearl could evolve to form higher-level spirit-nourishing wells. Yi Mo hadn't seen it, but that evolution was formed through countless years, much longer than the lifespan of a cultivator. Yi Mo suppressed his urge for the spirit-refining pearl and looked at Lan Qirui calmly. "I was genuine to Island Lord Lan, but you don't seem to be genuine to me." Hearing about the spirit-nourishing well, Lan Qirui was also shook. He really didn't know there was that, but hearing Yi Mo's words, he cursed in his heart. "You weren't genuine to me at all." However, he didn't dare to say that and could only say, "I really don't know. A few friends and me saw the sealed spirit ranges. We weren't sure if there was a spirit-nourishing well. If Brother Yi is interested, we can go look at it together." Yi Mo nodded. "Since Brother Lan invited me, I'll come with you. After all, more people, more power. Miao Weijin quickly said. I found the spirit nourishing well. I have been in the lost soul ruins for countless years, and I know every corner of it. A long time ago, I felt lost soul ruins was extraordinary, but when I left it, I was heavily injured. Now that I have recovered a little, I came back here to find the spirit nourishing well, but as soon as I found the approximate location, these people found it too. Miao Huizhen was very unhappy. If she didn't see Yi Mo today, she might have been annihilated. So they were going to annihilate you? Yi Mo looked coldly at Lan Qirwei and asked, Since Brother Yi wants to go, then let's hurry. Lan Qirwei was more desperate than Yi Mo. If he came to annihilate this woman, and the spirit nourishing well was taken by someone else first, then that would be a tragedy. Then let's go. Yi Mo was also worried that the spirit refining pearl would fall into someone else's hands. Seeing the black, flying ship Yi Mo released, Lan Qirwei's eyelids fluttered. Luckily, he didn't plan to run. He was certain this flying ship was beyond an extreme-grade cultivation artifact. Even though it wasn't a half-immortal artifact yet, it wasn't far from it. Miao Huizhen immediately came up to thank Yi Mo. Yi Mo nodded and didn't say much. He didn't know her that well, but he knew she was a cruel woman. They flew for half a day, and their spirit sense could scan to lost soul ruins. Yi Mo was familiar with the path here, and could find a way back to Mo, U City even without a compass. Compared to before, the lost soul ruins was more shabby. It was in complete ruins, instead of the vague outline of the city he saw before. Once here, Yi Mo's spirit sense scanned to the other three people. Yi Mo was speechless. He knew all three again. It was Teng Yi's father Teng Xiong, Zhuyin Island Lord Jiefeng, and another truth realization state level 7 he saw at the Dragon Teng Palace. The three stood at a plain gray stone block as though waiting for Lan Qirwei and Huang Qi to come back. Seeing this tablet, Yi Mo knew there was a level 9 stealth formation that was broken in not long ago. With the dense spirit qi emitting out, Yi Mo could guess there were a few extreme grade spirit ranges. Island Lord Lan, you actually found Yi Mo. Teng Xiong and the other truth realization state level 7 saw Yi Mo and also looked very happy. They didn't know why Lan Qirwei would bring Yi Mo back, but since he appeared, they weren't going to let Lan Qirwei keep Yi Mo to himself. How could Lan Qirwei not know what they meant? There was a sneer on his mouth, but he didn't speak. Yi Mo just nodded, saluted with his fist to Jiefeng, ignoring Teng Xiong, and the truth realization state level 7 Island Lord Jie. Long time no see. Yi Mo just nodded, saluted with his fist to Jiefeng, ignoring Teng Xiong, and the truth realization state level 7 Island Lord Jie. Long time no see. Ha ha. Jiefeng laughed and came up, patting Yi Mo on the shoulder. Brother Yi Mo, long time no see. Thanks for the spirit herb. You left last time, allowing my daughter to have a new life. Now that I finally see you again, if you're free, you must come to my island. Yi Mo knew Jiefeng wanted to help him. He knew last time that Teng Xiong and them wanted to forcefully take him away. He probably thought he was forced over here by Lan Qirwei, and thus he invited him over to his island as a guest. He's implying that Yi Mo is my guest. If anyone wants to harm him, then he's looking for trouble with me. Seeing Yi Mo only nod to them, Teng Xiong and the truth realization state level 7 were very annoyed. A mere cauldron-filling state level 2 dared to be like this, but remember Yi Mo was a level 7 pill king. They forced down their anger. A level 7 pill king was a money-making tree. Just imagine what owning a level 7 pill king in the Heartless Sea meant. Countless high-level beast cultivator and cultivators would come asking for pills, and all sorts of good resources would be provided to him. Seeing that Jiefeng wants to have a peace, Teng Xiong was immediately unhappy. Jiefeng was powerful, but not powerful enough to take on them three. Teng Xiong immediately signaled to Lan Qirwei wanting to join up against Jiefeng, but Lan Qirwei kept his head low and didn't even look over nor use his spirit sense. Seeing this, both Tung Xiong and Lan Qirui were shocked. Jie Feng thought that after saying that, Tung Xiong and them would join up against him. Yi Mo saved his daughter. Regardless if he could save Yi Mo this time, he would do his best. If he really can't, then he wouldn't feel guilty as he tried his best. But he didn't expect Lan Qirui to back out. Jie Feng immediately realized that Lan Qirui definitely Yi Mo was a pill king and wanted Yi Mo to work for him long time. He didn't want to share Yi Mo with Tung Xiong and Gongzhe. But if Lan Qirui had such thoughts, why bring Yi Mo over? Could he beat Tung Xiong? That was impossible. There were only 16 truth realization state cultivators in this area of the truth realization state, and everyone knew each other. Lan Qirui was definitely no match for Tung Xiong. Even Gongzhe stopped his rage. Even though he wasn't afraid of Lan Qirui, he was the weakest here. He didn't believe Tung Xiong would give up Yi Mo easily. As long as Tung Xiong didn't give up on Yi Mo, he would have a way to split some benefits. Yi Mo just smiled and saluted with his fists. Thank you, Island Lord Jie. But Yi Mo is busy, and I'm about to go back. I just heard that Island Lord Lan say he found a few extreme grade spirit ranges here. So I came to earn something wealth and get a few spirit ranges to use. Hearing this, Tung Xiong and Gongzhe realized that Yi Mo and Lan Qirui reached an agreement. He would only help Lan Qirui, and because Lan Qirui was backing him up, Yi Mo dared to speak like this. Jie Feng was bewildered. With him helping, it was strange that Yi Mo still rejected his offer to help, even though Lan Qirui was a truth realization state level 9. What right did he have to take all the spirit ranges here? But concerning Yi Mo, he didn't talk. Extreme grade spirit ranges were valuable, but if he could use it to not owe Yi Mo anymore, he would be willing to. Tung Xiong knew it was Lan Qirui behind this, but he still sneered to Yi Mo, little brother Yi, you're so bold. Do you think you can certainly beat Island Lord Jie, Island Lord Gong, and me? Then what do you want? Yi Mo asked. We found it first. Since you came last, then you can only wait till we've split it. Tung Xiaodan said this, expecting Lan Qirui to immediately say something. Everyone looked at Lan Qirui, wanting to know if he would say something after having his rights to a share taken. But he stood up and said, I have no objections to Pill King Ye's words. Everyone sneered. It was indeed so. Gongzhe glanced at Tung Xiong and immediately knew that he was completely furious. Gongzhe stood out and said, Island Lord Lan doesn't mind, but I do. Yi Mo, you came last, but you want a few spirit ranges. Do you think you can do whatever you want just because someone is supporting you? No matter how powerful your support is, Gongzhe will take back the share that belongs to me. What do you think, Island Lord Jie? Jie Feng felt something was wrong. Unless Lan Qirui was crazy or he didn't want to live, he would dare to challenge all of them for a few spirit ranges. Thinking about this, he said loudly, if these 3 or 4 spirit ranges really belongs to Yi Mo, then I don't mind. I owe brother Yi one. Gongzhe was shook. He didn't expect Jie Feng would be willing to give up extreme grade spirit range to Lan Qirui. But he wasn't an idiot, and also realized something was wrong. Yi Mo sneered, Island Lord Gong's words are like farts. How come I heard that these few spirit ranges are first found by my friend Miao Huijian? Now, it becomes you found it first. Is your face thicker than my magic artifact? Everyone else dazed. Miao Huijian was a truth realization state level 4 who would take her seriously. Gongzhe's face burst red, but this time he didn't waste time talking with Yi Mo. He looked coldly at Lan Qirui and said, Island Lord Lan, do you think you can ridicule me however you like just because you're a little stronger than me? I'm truth realization state level 7, but I don't fear Island Lord Lan. Lan Qirui sneered, Gongzhe, you want to start trouble. I'm not scared of you two. Which ear did you hear me insulting you? Point out someone who heard me insulting you. Am I looking for trouble or are you? Very well, very well. After being insulted by a cauldron-filling state level 2 and Lan Chiruwei, Gongzhi couldn't hold his fury anymore, and a blue magic artifact appeared on his hand. He released it with full power immediately. At the same time, his blue magic artifact turned into a huge club that was covered in lightning that loomed over the nearby 100 meters. Yemo happened to be under it. Gongzhi used his full power immediately as he knew Lan Chiruwei would stop him. Another lightning element magic artifact and a half-extreme grade cultivation artifact. Yemo sneered. Jiefeng was shook. Gongzhi was only truth realization state level 7, so he didn't consider him a threat, but this person had such a powerful magic artifact. The lightning club emitted more than 10 baby arm-sized lightning arcs down. Its power was shocking. Even space itself seemed to be getting unstable. Lan Chiruwei's face changed. He thought he would be able to beat Gongzhi without trouble, but with this move, Gongzhi showed power not far from his. Plus, lightning arcs were one of the most powerful offensive means. This meant that Gongzhi was on par with him. Even if he wanted to beat Gongzhi, it wouldn't be a quick fight. He might even need to use secret techniques. Everyone looked at Lan Chiruwei. They believed that Yemo wouldn't be able to live under such terrifying lightning arc attacks. Seeing Lan Chiruwei's face changed, they realized that Lan Chiruwei's greed really took over his reason. But both Jiefeng and Teng Xiong didn't move. They knew that Lan Chiruwei would save Yemo, but the next moment their face changed greatly. Lan Chiruwei didn't move at all. Jiefeng regretted. No matter what, Yemo was dead for sure now. He wouldn't even be able to save him in time. Gongzhi saw that Yemo didn't want to dodge at all, and Lan Chiruwei didn't move either, and was very shook. He didn't want to kill Yemo, but only wanted to teach Yemo a lesson to warn Lan Chiruwei. Gongzhi saw that Yemo didn't want to dodge at all, and Lan Chiruwei didn't move either, and was very shook. He didn't want to kill Yemo, but only wanted to teach Yemo a lesson to warn Lan Chiruwei. As long as Yemo had the will to dodge, he could save him, but Yemo didn't even want to move. He didn't even flinch. Yemo didn't move because although these lightning arcs would be enough to kill truth realization state primary stage cultivators, they were just like a tickle to him. He was God's state body refinement now, and even if he wasn't, devouring lightning source was all too easy for him. These lightning arcs would at most break his clothes. Thud, thud, the lightning arcs fell on Yemo's body and made eerie low thuds. There wasn't the sound of crisp lightning strikes that there was supposed to be. Everyone thought that after that blast, Yemo would be turned to dust. But after that vibrant wave of lightning arcs, everyone's was dazed. Yemo patted the dust off his shirt and seemed very at ease. Not even his clothes were creased, nor a hair out of place. The scene was dead silent. Everyone saw the power of the lightning arcs. No one believed they would be able to dodge it without even creasing their shirt. But Yemo did this without a magic artifact or taking any action. He just stood there. Lan Chiruwei's eyes spasmed. He felt he underestimated Yemo. Yemo was more powerful than he had imagined. Teng Xiong's heart sunk. He realized who Yemo's support was. Yemo was pretending to be weak this whole time. With this power, not even Jiefeng would be a match for him. He had the power to take a few spirit ranges. He finally realized why Lan Chiruwei kept his head low coming here. He didn't force Yemo to come over. Yemo forced Lan Chiruwei to lead the way. Jiefeng took a cold breath in. He also felt concerned about the lightning arcs, but Yemo was able to take it without moving. Not even truth realization state peak stage cultivators could do this. He felt the same as Teng Xiong. Yemo had hit his power. Thinking that he didn't force Yemo before, he rejoiced his decision. If he forced Yemo and angered Yemo, then not only would he not be able to make such a friend, but he would lose his 2 daughters also. The scene was dead silent, as what Yemo did wasn't something truth realization state cultivators could do. This was on the level of a hollow immortal. Gongja was also shook, but the instant he reacted his back was covered in sweat. Before he could retreat, Yi Mo sneered. You want to retreat after blasting me with lightning? Keep dreaming. Yi Mo waved his hand, and a lightning sword was released. It was the size of a grown man's arm, and it was black like ink. With a rumble, the lightning sword was about to land on Gong. The danger of being killed came. Gongja, in his worry, didn't even take back his mace to block the strike. He just wanted to dodge the lightning sword. But the next moment, he sweat even more. He felt the space around him turn solid, and he could barely move. In that instant, he could only barely move his head aside. With a rumble, the black lightning sword slashed into Gongja's shoulder. Gongja was smashed and etched into solid ground, his entire arm now missing. After spitting blood, Gongja crawled up and quickly took back his magic artifact. Pil King Yi, I exit the spirit range Phi. Before Yi Mo replied, he roared, Palace Lord Tung, Island Lord Lan. You can't just watch me die. We've 5 islands. Gongja knew from what Yi Mo just showed that he was hugely lucky he wasn't instantly killed. Plus, that was only 1 lightning sword before. If Yi Mo used a few more, or 10 more, what would he do then? Lan Qirui took a cold breath in. He had other cards, but so did Yi Mo. This lightning sword was so powerful just with 1, who was certain that Yi Mo could only use 1. If Yi Mo used more than 10 and trapped him, wouldn't he be in the same situation as Gongja? Lan Qirui and Tung Xiong instantly realized the situation, and before Yi Mo could attack again, the two stood out and saluted with their fists. Pil King Yi, since Island Lord Gong admitted his wrongs already, please have mercy. Yi Mo did intend to kill Gongja to assert dominance, but he had some concerns. He didn't know the relationship between Jie Feng and Tung Xiong and them. He wasn't afraid of Tung Xiong and Lan Qirui, but if the two joined forces, he wouldn't have a lot of upper hand. If Jie Feng was involved, then his main purpose would be affected. He came here not to kill, but for the spirit-refining pearl. Even if he didn't kill Gongja, he already asserted his dominance. So he nodded. Since you two asked, I'll show mercy to this man. If he dares to offend me again, I will crush him. Gongja's face was pale like snow, and now that Yi Mo finally let him go, he was overjoyed. Seeing this, the two breathed easy. They weren't confident in taking on Yi Mo together. Plus, they hadn't been on good terms with Jie Feng and had long wanted to annihilate Inju Island. If Gongja was dead, they would have one less ally. If this balance was broken, it wasn't good. Even though he knew Lan Qirui was forced over by Yi Mo, Tung Xiong still asked, Island Lord Lan, where did Huang Qi go? Before Lan Qirui could reply, Yi Mo said coldly, I killed him. Huang Qi had been Lan Qirui's follower, and now that Yi Mo said he killed him in front of Lan Qirui didn't show any expression. Tung Xiong and Gongja all felt fear. They had even dared to try and capture Yi Mo for pill concoction. Gongja hid on the side, not even daring to overtly eat pills. He was regretful to the extreme. Jie Feng and Tung Xiong, the two old foxes, must have seen something and thus didn't make a move. But he didn't think carefully and just jumped straight in. He was very lucky to even be alive. Jie Feng walked up and saluted with his fist to Yi Mo. I really didn't expect Brother Yi to be this powerful, and I even dared to give you a few pointers. Yi Mo said, I admire Island Lord Jie's character. I wish to be friends. Island Lord Jie is older than me. If you think we're friends, just call me Yi Mo. Ha! Then I won't be too polite. It's my luck to know a friend like Brother Yi. Jie Feng laughed. Seeing Jie Feng connect with Yi Mo, Tung Xiong and Lan Qirui's face didn't look good. Tung Xiong quickly said, Pil King Yi, there's 4 spirit range, what do you think? Seeing Jie Feng connect with Yi Mo, Tung Xiong and Lan Qirui's face didn't look good. Tung Xiong quickly said, Pil King Yi, there's 4 spirit range, what do you think? He only thought of it as a joke when Yi Mo said he wanted all of it, but now he didn't think so. If Yi Mo really wanted all of it, and he had Jiefeng to help him, there was nothing he could do. Yi Mo didn't care about these spirit ranges. If it was before he went into the Void Fissure, he definitely would take all of it, but now he was too wealthy. The reason he said he would take all of it was to assert his dominance and take authority for dividing up the spirit-nourishing well. Yi Mo wasn't afraid of these few people, but in the cultivation realm, it was taboo to take everything for yourself. Now that he got what he wanted, as Tung Xiong was asking him how to divide things, Yi Mo wasn't going to stay dominant. If news of the spirit refining pearl got out, it wouldn't be 1 or 2 truth realization states coming. No matter how powerful he was, he couldn't annihilate all truth realization state cultivators. Power was everything in the cultivation realm, but you can't draw too much hate. Throughout history, no matter how powerful the master, if he had too many foes, he didn't end up well. Yi Mo laughed. How do I dare to divide the things here? The reason I said that was because I didn't like how some people were being so cocky. Yi Mo continued, I feel like Palace Lord Tung has a lot of knowledge. His decision would be more considerate than mine. Everyone dazed. What was Yi Mo doing? Even Tung Xiong felt strange. But the following words Yi Mo said made Tung Xiong completely understand. Yi Mo laughed. Island Lord Gong is very generous and doesn't want a share of this, allowing everyone to have more. But I agree to Palace Lord Tung a lot. Only the first person here has the right to split the things here. I came later than all of you. I don't have the right to divide things. Palace Lord Tung said he came here first. Then I believe it's better for him to divide things. Hearing this, everyone understood what was going on and cursed Yi Mo for being shameless. Yi Mo was not only going to take the good things and still wanted to stand on moral high grounds. He really was someone that didn't want to lose out on anything. Only Jiefeng knew Yi Mo wasn't such person. How could Tung Xiong not know what Yi Mo meant, but if he didn't want to fight with Yi Mo, he would have to speak the truth. He coughed and said in embarrassment, I'm not the first one here either. Pil King Ye's friend came here first. In that case, let your friend divide things up. Yi Mo clapped. Oh, so Sister Miao came first? I almost made a big mistake. Since you all don't have any opinions, then Sister Miao, please help us divide things. How could Miao Huizhen not know what Yi Mo meant? Although she knew Yi Mo came for the spirit-nourishing well, she wasn't certain if Yi Mo didn't want the extreme grade spirit ranges at all. So she immediately said, Pil King, Yi saved my life. I believe that no matter what is found here, Pil King, Yi gets the first share, and then we can split the rest evenly. How about it? With this, everyone agreed. Yi Mo was the strongest here and wanted to take all 4 to begin with. Gongzhu objected and was easily killed. Who dared to say no? It seems Yi Mo was being reasonable everywhere, but this made Tung Xiong very annoyed. He had no choice but to find something to talk. Pil King Yi, I wonder how my son Tung Yi is. I don't know. Yi Mo's answer almost made him spit blood, but there was nothing he could do about Yi Mo. Jiefeng felt good and said, in that case, let's open all the spirit ranges here first. Okay. Lan Chirui agreed. The huge rock was easily open, revealing 4 spirit range. But as soon as they showed a huge white jade pond beneath, it was also revealed. It had clearly been there since antiquity, and it was filled more than half with a milky white liquid. Spirit-nourishing pond. People called out at the same time. A faint aroma came, and even Lan Chirui couldn't help calling out. The pond was at almost 700 square meter in size. This was invaluable. Even Tung Yi and Gong realized that Yi Mo probably already knew there was the spirit-nourishing well here. They all looked at Yi Mo. The 4 extreme grade spirit range were already extremely precious things, but it was really nothing to truth realization state level 9 cultivators compared to spirit-nourishing well. This was something useful to truth realization state peak stage cultivators. No one wanted to give up on this. Yi Mo saw this and saluted with his fists. I didn't expect there to be spirit-nourishing well here. Let me confirm if it's real. Then Yi Mo jumped into the white jade pond. Everyone saw this, and the corner of their eyes spasmed. This was damaging the well. One only needed to scoop a drop with his finger. But no one questioned Yi Mo for doing this. Yi Mo wasn't trying to damage the well. He was checking where the spirit refining pearl was. He could walk around the pond and test it, but then people would be suspicious. Thus, he jumped into the pond and emitted his powerful domain. He soon noticed something different. The density of the well was the greatest the furthest away from him. Yi Mo frowned. This uneven distribution of density would soon be noticed if they came down. Thinking about this, Yi Mo stood above the pond and went to the other side before saying, I think I only want one spirit range. And as for this spirit-nourishing well, I'll only take a quarter. You guys can split the rest. Then Yi Mo set up a few restrictions and separated the 1/4 that he said was his, and then forcefully used his domain to stir up the remaining 3/4, making their density even. Then he landed on his 1/4 and took an extreme grade spirit range. Yi Mo did things very naturally, and although seeming a little dominant, no one questioned him. Lan Chirui even felt lucky that Yi Mo only wanted a quarter, not half. Seeing this, Jiefeng quickly went down and took a quarter from the remaining pond, and took a spirit range. I've taken mine. Tung Xiong was the next to go. He took a spirit range, and took a third of the remaining liquid. It was Lan Chirui and Miao Huizhen left. Lan Chirui looked at Miao Huizhen. We'll split evenly what's left. How about it? Okay. Miao Huizhen agreed without hesitation. Lan Chirui agreed to split evenly, not because of her, but because of Yi Mo. Okay. Miao Huizhen agreed without hesitation. Lan Chirui agreed to split evenly, not because of her, but because of Yi Mo. Soon, the 4 spirit ranges and the spirit-nourishing well was divided up. Gongzhi looked at this in jealousy and fury, but didn't dare to say a thing. The reason he was able to stay alive was partly due to Yi Mo not killing him, but also due to Tung Xiong and Lan Chirui helping him. Gongzhi knew how useful the spirit-nourishing well was to him. His 5 lightning seal was more powerful the more powerful his spirit sense was, and yet he didn't get any of the well. How could he not be furious? Other than Yi Mo, everyone took out their magic artifact planning to take the well away. But Yi Mo didn't do this. It wasn't that he didn't want to, but he couldn't. He hasn't found the spirit refining pearl yet. Yi Mo was certain it was in his area, but before he found it, he wasn't going to take the well away. But in his area, no one could scan their spirit sense in anymore. What shook everyone was that it was Miao Huizhen who took her portion first. She flew up and saluted with his fists. Miao Huizhen thanked Pilkingyi for helping, but I still have some business now, so I'll be leaving. If I have time, I will come up to thank Pilkingyi personally. Yi Mo nodded and didn't say anything. He didn't expect her to help in the future, but she'd better not expect him to do anything for her. She was able to take her portion so quickly, clearly, because she has a powerful magic artifact. Miao Huizhen immediately let out her magic artifact. She knew her predicament well. She was using Yi Mo's relationship with her. If everyone knew that they weren't as close as they thought, she would be in danger. In less than half a minute, she was out of everyone's spirit sense range. Gongzhi saw this and really wanted to chase up, but he looked at Yi Mo and resisted his urge. He didn't want to get killed. Little did Gongzhi know that even if he fought with Miao Huizhen, NPW, Yi Mo wasn't going to kill him for that. At most, he would just protect Miao Huizhen. Few seconds later, Jiefeng took his portion and laughed, but then his face changed immediately and saluted with his fists. Brother Yi, something happened at home. I need to go first. If you have the time, please come to my island. Goodbye. Then Jiefeng disappeared into the horizon in a bolt of yellow light. Tung Xiong and Lan Qirui also took their portion, although they didn't know why Yemo didn't take his and was wasting time here, but they didn't want to ask. They saluted with their fists and left. Gongzhi took this opportunity and left with them. Gongzhi was hoping the two would share some with him when Teng Xiong suddenly said, "There's some minor problem in my palace. I need to go. Goodbye, you two." Then he disappeared before anyone could say anything. Lan Qirui looked at Gongzhi and said, "Island Lord Gong, my friend Huang Qi died today. I feel sad. We can meet again another time." Then Lan Qirui also disappeared. Gongzhi's heart was itching with anger. Huang Qi had been dead for that long, and this Lan didn't seem sad, but now he had to be sad. But there was nothing he could do. It was already good that they didn't try to attack him. It was impossible to expect them to share some with him. Gongzhi looked at the direction Miao Huizhen left and chased up. He didn't want to challenge Yemo, but he could certainly beat that truth realization state level 4. Yemo was desperate. The spirit refining pearl seemed to have hit itself. The spirit nourishing well was precious, but it would be used up one day. If he had the spirit refining pearl, it would be a different story. Yemo searched the bottom of the pond more than 10 times, but still didn't find the spirit refining pearl. This place was clearly set up with the pearl. How could it be like this? Yemo scanned his spirit sense into other areas and still didn't find anything. Yemo was very disappointed and just forged a huge jade well in the golden page world and put all the liquid inside. There was still nothing at the bottom. Was he really wrong? There was no spirit refining pearl? Just when Yemo was confused, 2 rays of lights flashed across the sky of the lost soul ruins. But then they turned back and landed next to White Jade Pond. "It's you," one of them blurted out. Seeing this bearded cultivator who recognized him, Yemo sneered. There was the path to heaven that this guy didn't take, and he had to choose the path to hell. When he was sending off Meng Qi, there was this guy hunting Bien Pheng Ta. He was disaster transformation state level 1 at the time, but now he was disaster transformation state level 2. The other cultivator had loose hair and a sharp mouth. Clearly he was a beast cultivator, but he was much more powerful than the bearded cultivator. He was disaster transformation state level 4. "You know this person, the disaster transformation state level 4 beast?" Cultivator asked. The bearded cultivator laughed. "This guy is only body condensation state. He hid his power. He's an insect that escaped from me. But I encountered him today. He's really unlucky. He was beaten away by Yemo and Bien Pheng Ta before. But now he shamelessly claimed Yemo ran away." The beast cultivator just looked at the White Jade Pond and said, "I suspect there was spirit nourishing well here. It has a strange smell." Then he wiped his finger on the pond and put it into his mouth. Moments later, his face changed greatly, its spirit nourishing well indeed. The next moment, his eyes stared deadly at Yemo. The bearded cultivator couldn't lose his mouth. He was overjoyed and yelled at Yemo, "Speak, did you take the things here?" Before he finished, Yemo already hacked out with Sisu. He didn't need to use Sisu against 2 disaster transformation state, but he felt annoyed not finding the spirit refining pearl, and this bearded guy dared to waste his time. Thud. Purple ray flashed and blood splashed in the air. When the blood was gone, the bearded cultivator was gone. The sturdy rock bed showed a ravine that was 100 meters deep, nothing else. Yemo's strike hacked this disaster transformation state level 2 to nothing. His armor, storage ring, all was gone. Seeing this, the sharp-mouthed beast cultivator was dazed, and moments later he reacted, quickly retreating and saying to Yemo, "One Bei didn't know Qianbei was here. Sorry for offending you. I will leave now." How could Yemo let him go? A lightning sword flew out. The disaster transformation state level 4 saw this and quickly broke a rune saying, "You can't kill me. I'm from the Peng Island." Yemo would even dare to fight Suai Anshan. What was Peng Island to him? Crack, that disaster transformation state level for beast cultivator retreated a few hundred meters away and had his soul destroyed by Yi Mo's lightning arc. His rune wasn't able to activate it, all under Yi Mo's powerful domain. Crack, that disaster transformation state level for beast cultivator retreated a few hundred meters away and had his soul destroyed by Yi Mo's lightning arc. His rune wasn't able to activate at all under Yi Mo's powerful domain. At the same time, this beast cultivator was killed on a huge island in the Heartless Sea. A dominating force rose into the sky. A coarse woman's voice sounded, "You're asking to die." Then it dashed out from the island and instantly disappeared. Yi Mo felt a little more comfortable after killing the two insects, but soon he noticed something was wrong. The place he hacked open was 100 meters deep, but they were all blue, sturdy rocks. Clearly something was wrong. Yi Mo scanned his spirit sense inside, and moments later, he found drops of blue water stuck to the crevice. Spirit nourishing well. Yi Mo called out in surprise and joy. This was the real spirit nourishing well. What they took was just the liquid gathered after countless years. Yi Mo's surprise and joy was no lesser than when he first saw the bitter bamboo. The cultivator, who had the spirit refining pearl, was very smart and didn't put the pearl in the jade pond. Without hesitation, Yi Mo hacked out, but he controlled his sword chi to not harm the spirit refining pearl. The place was hacked open again, and a blue pearl sat peacefully embedded in the wall. A drop of colorless liquid just dripped down. Spirit refining pearl. Yi Mo couldn't control his joy anymore, and took that pearl into a jade box without hesitation, and put it in his golden page world. The colorless liquid was the real spirit nourishing well liquid. The liquid filtered by the blue rock would be much less effective. After getting this, Yi Mo didn't want to stop at all. He released his black flying ship and disappeared from the lost soul ruins. Not long after Yi Mo left, another dashing light appeared. It was extremely fast. It was a skinny female cultivator wearing a pink dress. She didn't have any jewelries on her, but her eyes had this superiority that no one could compare. She landed next to the charred body and said, hatefully, "A lighting element cultivator. How dare you kill me, son? I will eat you alive." Then she howled again. Then her eyes landed on the empty white jade pond, and her eyes became furious. "So my son found the spirit nourishing well first, and this person killed my son. Very well, you, Zhejian, will annihilate you all." The next moment, she jumped inside the well and sniffed everywhere. After half a minute, she got up abruptly and said, "It's Ju In Island Jiafeng and Dragon Ting Palace Ting Xiong and Qi Tian Island Lon killing my son together. There's another nasty woman that I can't identify." Yi Mo had been cultivating under the bitter bamboo, and his chi was one with nature. Although he left last and was the true culprit, Yu Zhejian didn't recognize her instead. Yi Mo didn't know that he killed the beast cultivator, but the consequence would be taken by the other few people. Yi Mo left this region of the sea and headed towards the South Peace State. Gongsha was very annoyed. Although he was heavily injured by Yi Mo, he recovered by 70% other his arm, being unable to regenerate. He believed that if he chased up to that female cultivator, he would be able to rob the spirit-nourishing well from her. But he had been chasing for 2 hours, and there was no sign of her. He was helpless, and just when he wanted to return to his island, his spirit sense scanned a pink dashing light. He rejoiced and immediately chased up. Miao Huijian also wore pink, and thus he thought it was her. What Gongsha didn't expect was that as soon as he moved, that pink figure dashed to him instead. Moments later, that pink figure stopped in front of him. Gongsha immediately recognized this female cultivator within a tens of million of kilometer radius of this heartless sea region. No one dared to mess with her. She was Peng Island Yu Zhejian. Gongsha Greek Yu Qianbei. Gongsha cursed himself for being unlucky. Yu Zhejian looked coldly at him and said, "Where did Dayu come from?" If it was some other time, Yu Zizhen wouldn't want to waste time with Gongja, but today she was full of fury. Gongja quickly said, Wan Bei just came from Lost Soul Ruins. I'm so lucky to encounter Qian Bei. You came from Lost Soul Ruins? Yu Zizhen raised her voice to a sharp level. Gongja didn't know what she meant, and could only say respectfully, yes, Wan Bei did come from Lost Soul Ruins indeed. Who else went there? Her voice was getting cold. Gongja didn't hide anything and said, Dragon Tung Palace Lord Tung, Yutian Island Lord Lan, Zhuyin Island Lord Jia, and one male and female cultivator. Speaking of this, Gongja suddenly thought, he didn't get any of the spirit nourishing well before. Now that Yu Zizhen was here, why don't he bring the disaster to them, so they can't live well? Perhaps that Yu wasn't gone yet and was caught by Yu Zizhen. No matter how powerful Yi Mo was, he wouldn't be a match for Yu Zizhen, right? Suddenly, Yu Zizhen said coldly, I didn't expect you to be able to hide from me about going to Lost Soul Ruins. I heard you have a 5 lightning seal that can shoot out lightning arcs, right? Gongja also realized something was wrong, and just when he wanted to talk, he felt cold. He felt the discomfort of being bound by domain already. Gongja immediately realized the situation and ran his cultivation essence like crazy, wanting to release his 5 lightning seal. But as soon as he broke free from her domain, he was hit by her gray handkerchief. Arg! A terrifying howl sounded, and as soon as Gongja's essence spirit came out, it was crushed by Yu Zizhen's cultivation essence giant hand. He didn't even get a chance to explain himself, and was killed by this crazy woman. Compared to this woman, Yi Mo was a righteous judge. She casually took Gongja's storage ring and couldn't even be bothered checking. Lan Qirui was rejoicing over his loot today when a sudden rumble sounded. Lan Qirui got up. He felt his island was under attack. He was an overlord in this region. Other than Yi Mo, that madman who would dare to attack his formation. Lan Qirui, hand over your life? A furious voice interrupted Lan Qirui's thoughts. Peng Island, Yu Zizhen? Lan Qirui flew out and saw who attacked his island. His face changed greatly. Rumble. Another terrifying explosion sounded, and Yu Zizhen's handkerchief smashed down from the heavens. The defense formation immediately showed a crack. Before Lan Qirui could speak, that handkerchief smashed down again. Before Lan Qirui could speak, that handkerchief smashed down again. With a rumble, the island formation shook, and the formation was about to crack. With a few more attacks, this formation was about to completely cripple. How could Lan Qirui allow Yu Zizhen to keep attacking? He charged out of the island and released his dual rings, stopping a wave of the black handkerchief. Crack! The 2 magic artifacts clashed together, and there was a cracking sound. Lan Qirui flew back and smashed on the defense formation. Lan Qirui calmed his cultivation essence and desperately said, Big sister you're a Qian Bei. What's the reason for attacking my island like this? What's the reason? Yu Zizhen repeated. You along with Teng Xiong, Jie Feng, and them killed my son. Is it wrong for me to get revenge for my son? Lan Qirui dazed. He just realized that her son was killed, and this unreasonable woman assumed that he killed him. Was her son an immortal, needing the combined force of a few truth realization state cultivators? She was being too absurd. Lan Qirui was only dazed for a moment, and Yu Zizhen grunted. Her cultivation essence splashed out, and even with his power, Lan Qirui felt it difficult to breathe. In his shock, Lan Qirui roared, Big sister if I killed your son, I won't die a good death, and will die to the next divine damnation. He felt extremely oppressed being forced to say an oath, but he had to make it. He knew this woman had a simplistic brain, but was very powerful and cruel. Hearing this, her magic artifact slowed down. She didn't need long to kill him, and he wouldn't be able to escape from her. Thinking about this, She sealed all of the space here with her domain and said coldly, "If you dare to speak any lies, I will crush your island." So unreasonable. Lon Chiroué was furious, but there was nothing he could do. Lon Chiroué suppressed his anger and said in an amicable tone, "Big Sister Yu, I just came from Lost Soul Ruins, and during this time I didn't see him at all. How could I have killed him? Plus, your son is very handsome. I might be dumb, but how can I not recognize him? How would I dare to kill him? Big Sister Yu dominates the Heartless Sea. If I killed him, how could you not know?" Yu Zetian had always been dominant and would rather kill the wrong people than let one possibility go. Lon Chiroué's words woke her up a bit. She felt that Lon Chiroué really didn't kill her son. Even Gong, she was probably innocent. But even so, she didn't care about who was wrongly killed. She calmed down her tone and asked, "Then who killed my son at Lost Soul Ruins?" Lon Chiroué cursed, thinking, how would I know? But he didn't dare to say that. He rejoiced about not lying. Yu Zetian really went to Lost Soul Ruins. It was said that her nose was very sensitive. He even told her about finding the spirit-nourishing well at the Lost Soul Ruins, but said after they all left, only Yi Mo was still there. He had the same intention as Gongja, wanting Yu Zetian to fight Yi Mo. He described Yi Mo as someone who would kill anyone who showed him the slightest disrespect. Lon Chiroué didn't say Yi Mo killed her son, but all his words implied that. Where is Yi Mo from? Yu Zetian's killing intent rose. Seeing this, Lon Chiroué breathed easy instead. He knew her killing intent wasn't targeted at him. He quickly said that Yi Mo didn't say where he came from, but I guess he's probably from South Peace State. By the way, he's close with Jiafeng. Perhaps he might be visiting him there. Hand the spirit-nourishing well over, Yu Zetian said expressionlessly. Ha, Big Sister Yu. Lon Chiroué dazed. He lost his dragon heart flame and was almost killed by Yi Mo to get this. Now it was going to be taken away? Yu Zetian sneered, and her power rose again. The black handkerchief was crushing space itself around here. Lon Chiroué didn't dare to say any more, and threw a bottle over at Yu Zetian. "It's inside." Yu Zetian took it, and didn't even open it before disappearing. She was certain that Lon Chiroué didn't dare to trick her. Looking at her disappear, Lon Chiroué sneered. This old thing was so cocky just because she was powerful, condescending to everyone. He just gave her an ordinary bottle of spirit wine, but that old thing didn't even check it. She was so certain he didn't dare to trick her. "I'll give up you Tian Island," Lon Chiroué said hatefully, dispersing his few close people and disappearing on his magic artifact. If there was someone to help Yi Mo control the flying ship, Yi Mo would go into the Golden Page world to test the spirit-nourishing well. But he was by himself now, so he could only hold up on the thought. He was truth realization state power now. And so even though this flying ship was weaker than his Blue Moon, Yi Mo brought it to a speed just a bit slower than Blue Moon. In less than a month, Yi Mo arrived at the coral island Mengqi left. Yi Mo was desperate to go back, so he didn't plan to stay here. But when he saw there were 2 people here, he was surprised. This island was deprived of spirit qi. Who would stay here? Jing Xueqing? Yi Mo's spirit sense scanned one person and almost called out, but then he realized that this person wasn't Jing Xueqing. Jing Xueqing was a male, but this was a woman. She was only hollow spirit state level 9, but she looked almost exactly Jing Xueqing. The only thing was she was darker than Jing Xueqing. She wasn't ugly, but she wasn't pretty either. There was a wrinkly man next to her. He was disaster transformation state level 7. He knew she must be related to Jing Xueqing. Jing Xueqing was very generous and gave him a jade card for protection. He even said that if Yong Lanyi dared to do anything to him, he could go to Songhai Palace for protection. He clearly knew he killed Yong Wuzi and still dared to help him. Clearly he was a true friend. Yi Mo immediately landed on his island. The 2 cultivators were very wary and stood vigilantly, watching Yi-Mo. Yi-Mo didn't put away his flying ship and saluted with his fists. Are you too from the Tsang High Palace? The wrinkly man looked at Yi-Mo's flying ship and was a little shocked, but that shock soon disappeared, and he answered carefully, We don't seem to have seen this friend before. Is there anything you need? Yi-Mo smiled. I have a friend at Tsang High Palace called Jing Xuecheng. Do you two know him? You're my brother's friend, the female cultivator asked in surprise, so quickly that the man couldn't even stop her. She was confused. Since when did her brother have a friend who could cross the Heartless Sea? How could she not know the danger of the Heartless Sea? Her Uncle Hai had been very careful taking her here, yet this person just overtly flew over in his flying ship. She was indeed Jing Xuecheng's sister. He guessed right. Yi-Mo took out a jade card and said, Look at this, and you would know. Jing Xuecheng gave this to me. She was indeed Jing Xuecheng's sister. He guessed right. Yi-Mo took out a jade card and said, Look at this, and you would know. Jing Xuecheng gave this to me. It really is my brother's identity jade card. The female cultivator called out in joy. Then she seemed to remember something and looked at Yi-Mo in surprise. Are you Yi-Mo, the one who escaped from the Chu 18 discs? Her brother didn't give out his jade card casually, but ever since her brother came back from the Chu 18 discs, he said he met a hero called Yi-Mo. That Yi-Mo dared to kill Yong Wuzi at the Chu 18 discs and knew formations very well. He really wanted to be friends with Yi-Mo, so he gave out his card. The reason she didn't remember earlier was because her brother said Yi-Mo was only body condensation state. A body condensation state cultivator dared to cross the Heartless Sea. Clearly he was mad. Yi-Mo nodded. That's right. I'm Yi-Mo. I happened to go past here, and I saw you looked very like Brother Jing, so I came to ask, is Brother Jing all right? I was planning to go Tsang High Palace this time, but there's some emergency, so I can only wait till next time. He was Truth Realization State Level 3 and a forgery grandmaster. He was going to reforge his blue moon and make it true half immortal artifact. By then, he would be able to come and go in the Heartless Sea freely. Jing Zhuoxiang wanted to ask how Yi-Mo could cross the Heartless Sea with only body condensation state power, but Yi-Mo's words brought out her sadness. She sniffed, I don't know if my brother is alive or dead now. The Tsang High Palace isn't the same Tsang High Palace. Yi-Mo heard this and frowned. Your father Jing Xiangdong is the big palace lord who would dare to do anything to your brother. The disaster transformation state, level 7, realized Yi-Mo was a friend, not an enemy. So he said, this is a long story. Let's sit down first. Yi-Mo was desperate to go home, but he can't just leave this matter aside when Jing Xuecheng was in trouble. He nodded, okay. Yi-Mo waved out 3 black stones and said, please have a seat. Seeing the stone stools, Yi-Mo casually waved out. The two's eyes spasmed. The stools he threw out casually were made from level 7 material void black star rock. It was very rare in the cultivation realm, and yet such material was made into stools. What more extravagance was this? Compared to the Black Rock City, though, this was nothing, as the entire city was made from the void black star rock. Jing Zhuoxiang sat down and said, carefully, Brother Yi, I'm Jing Zhuoxiang, and this my family's manager Jing Hai. Yi-Mo nodded. Tell me about your brother. She nodded. Her eyes were red. She clearly her thought before saying, after the Chu 18 discs, the Sea Cultivator Alliance had internal conflict and were dispersed and taken in by the Tong High Cult. Hearing this, Yi-Mo nodded. He knew about this. After that, our Tsang High Palace seemed alone and weak. Then Yong Lani came to visit us. My father didn't mind, but he didn't expect the 3rd palace lord to join up with Yong Lani to ambush my father and the 2nd palace lord Cheng Huaning. Yi-Mo frowned. Yong Lani was this hot-tempered. How could he have such calculations? Did he want to take over the Tsang High Palace too? My father was heavily injured, but he wasn't scared. However, Yonglani already had people hiding at the outskirts of the 3 islands. They would immediately come out to suppress the resistance. Those people who showed slight resistance would be killed. With the help of the 3rd Palace Lord, countless died in the Songhai Island. My brother was caught on the spot, and I don't know if he's still alive. Jing Zihuxiang wiped her eyes. Yi Mo asked heavily, "How did you get out?" Uncle Hai got first-hand news, and immediately used a space transmission rune taking me away from the Tsang High Palace. But we don't dare to cross the Heartless Sea, so we can only search for an opportunity to leave the Heartless Sea on this island. Jing Zhuoxiang answered. How long has it been? Yi Mo asked. Jing Hai quickly answered. It's been nearly a year. We used a year to get here. Yi Mo nodded. Without extreme grade flying cultivation artifact and staying discreet, it wasn't easy to get here for a disaster transformation state level 7 cultivator. Thinking about this, Yi Mo got up. I'm going to go to Tsang High Palace. You too can come with me. You're going to save my brother? Jing Zhuoxiang got up in joy. Yi Mo nodded. Your brother Jing Xueqing is my friend. Now that he's in danger, of course, I need to help. Plus, I have great enmity with Yonglani. Even without your brother's matters, I won't let this person go. I said I would be back when I left. Jing Zhuoxiang had calmed down now and said in hesitation, but Yonglani and 3rd Palace Lord Wulin are both Truth Realization State Level 9. That Yonglani is Truth Realization State Peak Stage, your only body condensation state. Yi Mo heard this and looked at the disappointed Jing Hai and immediately knew that they thought he was being hot-headed. Perhaps Jing Hai just wanted him to take them away to safety first. Realizing this, Yi Mo couldn't be bothered explaining. He took away the stone stools and said, in the Heartless Sea, this place is rather safe, but it would still be dangerous if you stay here for too long. If you're willing, I suggest you come with me to Tsang High Palace. Of course, if not, I can give a top-grade flying cultivation artifact to you guys. Hearing this, Jing Hai took a cold breath in, giving out a top-grade flying cultivation artifact so easily. Who did this Yi Mo think he was? Was he really this wealthy? Jing Zhuoxiang didn't think that much. And immediately, I'm willing. Even if I die, I'm going to see my brother and my mom. Okay, then let's go. Yi Mo got on his flying ship. Seeing Jing Zihuxiang go in too, Jing Hai had no choice but to go in as well. But Yi Mo was right. Even if they didn't go, how long could they hide with their power? Yi Mo was just about to start up the flying ship when a black figure dashed out of the sea charging at the flying ship. Level 9 spirit beast 8-horned octopus? Jing Zhuoxiang screamed out. Even Uncle Hai would need half a day to annihilate it. If there was more, they would only be able to hide. Uncle Hai? Jing Zihuxiang subconsciously called. Jing Hai wanted to see Yi Mo attack, but the octopus was too fast. If he hesitated, it might injure Jing Zhuoxiang. So he immediately released his magic artifact. But before he could attack, Yi Mo threw a wind blade over. Blood splashed, and that ferocious octopus was sliced in half like tofu. A beast core flew into Yi Mo's hand. Yi Mo seemed to have done something very casual as the flying ship sped off. Jing Hai was completely dumbfounded. What power was this? Killing a level 9 spirit beast in one move using the simplest wind blade? At this moment, he was looking at Yi Mo with some reverence. He didn't seem to a brainless idiot. Brother Yi, what power level are you at? Jing Zhuoxiang was also very shocked, killing a level 9 spirit beast with one wind blade. Even her father was, at most, at this level. Brother Yi, what power level are you at? Jing Zhuoxiang was also very shocked, killing a level 9 spirit beast with one wind blade. Even her father was, at most, at this level. Yi Mo smiled and said, I'm Truth Realization State Power. Don't worry, I will kill that Yonglani for sure. Jing Hai took in a cold breath. The Chu 18 discs only allowed cultivators who were within 100 years of age to enter. Yemo was clearly not 100 to be able to go in a truth realization state cultivator, not even 100 years old. Jinghai didn't dare to keep thinking. Even he had never heard of such absurd cultivator. So, you're a truth realization state cultivator. My brother wanted my father to help you, Jing Zhuoxiang exclaimed. Yemo didn't explain. He knew that if he couldn't leave the Chu 18 discs then, he would really need Jing Xueqing to help him. But he didn't know if Jing Xueqing's father would fight with Yonglani for him. Regardless, it was a silver lining for Yemo. Yemo took less than half a month to travel the distance the two needed a year to traverse. They were now at an island region. Yemo slowed down. Jing Zhuoxiang stood at the head of the ship and pointed at a huge, tall, black shape, saying, "That's the main palace of the Songhai Palace. My father was killed here by Wu Lin, that bastard." As soon as she said this, a dashing light appeared before the flying ship. It was an extreme-grade spirit artifact flying ship. A middle-aged man stood atop it, and seeing Yemo's flying ship, there was surprise in his eyes. He immediately saw Jing Zhuoxiang and called out in surprise, "Is Mistress Zhuoxiang inside?" Hearing this voice, Jing Zhuoxiang got up and said in surprise and joy, "It's me, your patrol guard Wang." Yemo didn't attack seeing Jing. Zhuoxiang knew this person. He was about to fling him over. "It really is Mistress Zhuoxiang. You should quickly leave. Why did you come back?" The middle-aged man asked desperately. "Thank you, Patrol Guard Wang. I want to ask how my brother and mother are." Jing Zhuoxiang's eyes went red as she asked. Patrol Guard Wang scanned Yemo and then saluted with his fist to Jinghai before saying, "Mistress Jing Zhuoxiang, sorry. After the big palace lord was harmed, Wang Han really had no choice but to stay here." Jing Zhuoxiang nodded. "Brother Wang, I don't blame you. You're not wrong. It's the bastard Wu Lin, my mother and brother." Patrol Guard Wang lowered his head. In order to not be assaulted, the palace lord wife committed suicide. Young palace lord is still in imprisonment. As for why they didn't do anything to the young palace lord, I don't know. Seeing Jing Zhuoxiang's tears, Patrol Guard Wang sighed to Jinghai. "Brother Jin, you should quickly take the mistress and leave. In a while, I'm planning to go try our luck with a few friends at South P State. The Songhai Palace isn't the same place as before." Sigh. Suddenly, Patrol Guard Wang's face changed, and before he could react, another dashing light landed before Yemo's flying ship. "Wang Han, I've long suspected you of being a spy. Now it seems I'm really right. I really want to see how you're going to explain yourself today. You dare to help the remaining Jing family scum escape." A cocky voice sounded. Wang Han didn't explain anything as he knew it was pointless. Yemo had long seen the dashing light. Wang Han was Disaster Transformation State Level 4, but the cultivator who came was Disaster Transformation State Level 6. "Brother Jing, this person is Tong, High Cultivator Gai E. He has done a lot of bad things in the Songhai Palace and harmed a lot of our brothers. After we kill him together, I will come with you guys." Wang Han made a quick judgment. Yemo nodded. This Wang Han made the best decision in this situation. Jinghai nodded at Wang Han, but didn't answer. He looked at Yemo. "Young Master Yi, what do you think?" Jinghai knew Yemo was as powerful as truth realization state cultivators, so he called him Young Master. It was also to remind Yemo that Yemo was his young master's best friend and urge him to save his young master. Wang Han was dazed. Jinghai was the family servant of the Jing family. Why did he call someone he had never seen before young master? Yemo knew what Jinghai meant, but he wasn't angry. Now that Jinghai asked, Yemo said plainly, "Nothing to hesitate about. Just attack. Just attack." Wang Han looked at Yemo, who was so much younger than him and couldn't say a word. If it was a truth realization state peak stage cultivator who said this, it would be heroic and dominant, but coming from Yemo, it made him look like an idiot. the disaster transformation state level 6, who just came overheard this and laughed, flinging out a fireworks signal in the sky. Yemo didn't mind, and just suddenly reached out a cultivation essence giant hand and grabbed at it. Seeing this, the disaster transformation state level 6 was shook. How could he not know that Yemo was a truth realization state cultivator? He wanted to run immediately, but soon he found he couldn't move at all. Domain. Such a powerful domain. There was despair in the disaster transformation state level 6 size. He watched the cultivation essence giant hand pick him up. With a crack, the disaster transformation state level 6 turned into nothing under Yi Mo's cultivation essence giant hand. Only a storage ring was left. Truth realization state cultivator. Wang Han called out in shock. He just realized that this cultivator younger than him was a truth realization state cultivator, a top grade one. Wang Hai's heart beat rapidly seeing Yemo attack again. He was certain Yemo was definitely on par with the old palace lord. Not even the old palace lord could kill a disaster transformation state level 6 with one cultivation essence giant hand. Even Jing Zhuoxiang stopped her mourning and looked dazedly at Yemo's power. A disaster transformation state level 6 couldn't do anything in his hands. Just what absurd friend did her brother make? Jing Hai rejoiced. The more powerful Yemo was, the more hope of the young master being rescued, and the safer they were. Wang Han also woke up and immediately said, Mistress Jing Zhuoxiang, Wang Han is willing to go with you guys to rescue the young master, no matter whether it means life or death. Then Wang Han bowed again. Wang Han greets Qian Bei. If it wasn't for Qian Bei, Wang Han wouldn't be a match for that person. Yemo nodded. You're very good. Wang Han clearly didn't want to stay under the third palace lord. In such a situation, he could still persuade Jing Zhuoxiang to run, and didn't forget his roots. Jing Zhuoxiang reacted and bowed to Wang Han, saying in a coarse voice, Thank you for helping Big Brother Wang. I'm very grateful. Wang Han said seriously, I was persuading you guys to go because I knew if you went at Songhai Palace it wouldn't change anything. But with this truth realization state Qian Bei, here we can try. That Yonglani isn't at our Songhai Palace. An old palace lord still has a lot of followers, but many just can't resist like us. As soon as he said this, more than 10 dashing beams arrived rapidly. The leading man was a truth realization state level 1 cultivator, and the rest were disaster transformation state or cauldron filling state cultivators. The leading man was a truth realization state level 1 cultivator, and the rest were disaster transformation state or cauldron filling state cultivators. Wang Han, where is Gui? Didn't he? The truth realization state level 1 started to ask Wang Han, but before he finished he saw Jing Zhuoxiang and immediately stopped questioning. His eyes turned cold. Before this truth realization state cultivator finished, Jing Zhuoxiang yelled, Simu Lin, you've been with my father for so many years. Why did you betray the Songhai Palace and conspire with the animal from the Tong, Hai Cult Yonglani? The truth realization state level 1 looked at Jing Zhuoxiang in contempt. Do I need to explain to you? Where did Gui go? Speak. Gui sent off the alarm signal, and he couldn't have left in such a short time. Jing Hai was only disaster transformation state level 7, and wasn't that much stronger than Gui. Even with Wang Han's help, they couldn't have killed Gui in such a short time. Thus, he was surprised Gui wasn't here. He then thought of something and reproached Wang Han. Did he chase after someone else? Before Wang Han replied, Yemo said calmly, I killed the one who signaled. What? The truth realization state level 1 said in shock. His power rose drastically and killing intent burst out like crazy. Those weaker cultivators all retreated. Even Wang Han felt uneasiness of breathing. He immediately knew he was enclosed in Simu Lin's domain and wanted to break free. Yemo couldn't be bothered talking and released his domain too. With this, Simu Lin felt his domain was as thin as ice and was instantly crushed. Even Wang Han could hear the clear cracking sound. Half a second later, Wang Han felt he was completely free, but Simu Lin's face changed drastically. He immediately realized that Yi Mo was many times more powerful than him. Just when he wanted to release his magic artifact, more than 10 wrist-sized black lightning arcs shot at him. Rumble, 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 those disaster transformation states and cauldron-filling states in Yi Mo's domain couldn't resist at all, and all turned to dust. Simu Lin quickly burned a few mouthful of essence blood and forcefully broke free from Yi Mo's domain. But before he could release his magic artifact, another lightning sword landed. With a splurge, blood and flesh flew off. With this, Simu Lin was sent flying. Just where did this maniac come from? He was this terrifying. There was nothing he could even do to resist. Holding back his terror, Simu Lin released a cultivation artifact shield, wanting to protect himself, and then used blood mobility. A faint yellow rune was released, and Simu Lin spat a few mouthfuls of blood on it. Instantly, the rune emitted bright yellow light, as though about to be activated. But soon, Simu Lin was disappointed. He found his rune was bound by Yi Mo's domain and couldn't be activated. In his worry, Simu Lin immediately realized that other than begging for mercy, only death awaited him. Qianbei. He began, but an even thicker lightning arc fell. With a crack, Simu Lin's shield shattered and flew apart. However, the lightning didn't stop there and continued to fall onto his head. There was despair in his eyes. As Simu Lin fell into the sea, his soul was eradicated too. Wang Han and them looked at the empty sea. If they weren't here, they wouldn't have thought anyone was here before. In about 10 seconds, Yi Mo killed more than 10 people, including a truth realization state cultivator. Even the truth realization state cultivator was instantly killed by Yi Mo Jinghai's heartbeat even more rapidly. Yi Mo took the storage ring and said, "Let's go to the Tsang, High Three Islands." Wang Han came back to his senses. It seemed his decision was right. This Qianbei was at least truth realization state tertiary stage. The Songhai Palace was so famous greatly due to their main palace, the Golden Palace. It was a remnant from the ancient times. Even without spirit-gathering formations, the spirit chi inside was very dense. Another benefit of this palace was to refine spirit sense. Inside the palace, a black cultivator-robed cultivator was sitting on the main seat drinking wine. However, he didn't seem happy at all, and instead had a frown on his face. This was the previous third palace Lord Wu Lin. Other than the great and second palace lord, he had the highest authority. But power was like drugs. Once you were addicted, you couldn't get out of it. He felt he was confined in here too much. Whether it was the 2 palace lords or the 2 paid guests, they were people he couldn't control. He didn't want this. He wanted his words to be divine orders that no one would dare to argue. At this moment, Yong Lani sent him a purple luo lan and persuaded him to be independent. With this, Wu Lin eventually agreed. With their careful planning, they ambushed the 2 other palace lords and successfully took power. Wu Lin thought that with the 2 palace lords gone, the Songhai Palace would naturally all he his. But only later did he realize how simply he thought things through. He indeed killed the 2 palace lords, but Songhai Palace didn't come under his management as he expected. The 2 paid guests left, and the rest of the cultivators didn't want to listen to him and went into internal conflict. In that battle, Songhai Palace didn't even have a third of its original power. If this was it, Wu Lin would take it as he believed in time. The Songhai Palace would regain its former glory. But the fact was more and more cultivators were leaving. Even though he used extremely harsh measures, he couldn't stop them from leaving. At this moment, he realized that he was the 3rd palace lord because he was he least popular. What he was most annoyed about was that after Yong Lanyi helped him kill the 2 palace lords, he took 80% of Songhai Palace's wealth. On top of that, he said Songhai Palace would have to supply many herbs and materials to him, as Songhai Palace was now a subordinate of the Tong Hai cult. He thought his power would greatly increase after becoming the only palace lord, but now it seemed greatly diminished instead. Now he realized that Yong Lanyi was scared of the big palace lord and the second palace lord together. Now that they were dead, how could Yong Lanyi be scared of him? Wu Lin, you sly bastard. A coarse girl's voice interrupted Wu Lin's thoughts. Wu Lin shook and got up suddenly. Who could come in here and swear at him? Zhuxiang. Wu Lin subconsciously called, and then looked at Yi Mo next to her. Clearly, she was here due to this young man. Zhuxiang. Wu Lin subconsciously called, and then looked at Yi Mo next to her. Clearly, she was here due to this young man. Wu Lin was confused. Even though Songhai Palace was at its weakest, the young man shouldn't be able to come here. There were 6 truth realization states before, but now only him and Simu Lin were left, even though Simu Lin was truth realization state level 1. How could this young cultivator stop him? If not, then how was he here? Wu Lin scanned his spirit sense out, and the next moment his face changed greatly. He found his spirit sense couldn't go out of this palace, meaning that someone had set up formation outside. You don't need to use spirit sense. It won't be able to scan out. I've set up a formation outside. Yi Mo said calmly. Jing Hai and Wang Han went to gather up the remaining cultivators of the palace and didn't come in with Yi Mo. Yi Mo didn't want Wu Lin to know this. There were no more truth realization state cultivators left, and using the name of the old palace lord, Wang Han and Jing Hai should be able to take back the place. Wu Lin, you bastard, what did my father and Uncle Chen do wrong to you? You brought a wolf into our house and conspired with Yong Lanyi to annihilate our Songhai Palace. Animal. Jing Zhuxiang knew she was no match for him, otherwise she would have fought him already. W. Lin's face was very bad, but ignored Jing Zhuxiang. If he could go back to before, he definitely wouldn't do this. Yi Mo scanned with spirit sense and saw that Wang Han and Jing Hai's situation didn't seem to be too well. It wasn't that someone was fighting them, but they didn't have enough charisma to gather the people. He immediately said to Jing Zhuxiang, Sister Zhuxiang, how about you go out and help them? I'll deal with here. Jing Zhuxiang immediately understood what Yi Mo meant and nodded, leaving the place without hesitation. Wu Lin also realized there were things going on outside, but before Jing Zhuxiang reached the door, he grabbed with his cultivation essence giant hand. How could he let her leave? Moments later, Wu Lin's face changed. Jing Zhuxiang walked out of the palace unaffected while his cultivation essence giant hand disappeared like a joke. Domain. Your truth realization state cultivator? Wu Lin suddenly got up and a white ray appeared in his hand. It was a white sword without a handle. Yi Mo said calmly, if I'm not truth realization state, what would I be doing here? Yi Mo also released Sisu. He was prideful, but he was only a truth realization state level 3. He didn't overestimate himself to the extent that he didn't need to use magic artifact against a truth realization state level 9. There were truth realization state level 9 cultivators more powerful than him, Suo Anshan, Shirtaa, and that evil spirit. If Suo Anshan wasn't heavily injured, he was definitely no match for him. Shirtaa also only had less than half of his power too. If Suo Anshan wasn't injured, then even though his body refinement was God state, he would at most be able to stay alive. It was impossible to kill Suo Anshan. This Wu Lin was at most Di Shueming's level. Despite this, Yi Mo didn't underestimate him. Wu Lin didn't hold back at all. His white sword instantly turned into countless sword rays. These sword rays sliced across Yi Mo's domain unaffected. In the blink of an eye, they surrounded Yi Mo. Yi Mo was enveloped by these vibrant white sword rays. While these sword rays passed his domain, Yi Mo was shook. There really were anything in the cultivation realm. There were sword ray that weren't affected by domain. With such speed and power, Yi Mo couldn't even use octagonal cauldron in time. Thud, thud, thud. Countless white sword rays splashed everywhere. Yi Mo was caught off guard and surrounded by these sword ray explosions. Wu Lin's face was pale, but he breathed easy. He used his secret technique straight up. He knew that Yi Mo would be no simple character to dare to come here. Jing Zhuoxiang clearly went out to set people to rebel against him. He had to kill Yi Mo as quickly as possible. Once Yi Mo was dead, Jing Zhuoxiang was just an insect. The entire palace was rattling with the power of the explosion. Yi Mo didn't expect Wu Lin to have such secret technique. If it was before, he could only go hide in the Golden Page world, but now he didn't feel the threat of being killed. The blades ravaged on his body. Yi Mo heard his armor and skin being ripped, but even the most powerful one could only make a red mark on his skin. Yi Mo exclaimed, the God-state body refinement was too powerful. Even if he was no match for Wu Lin, it was very hard for Wu Lin to kill him. The explosion disappeared quickly. Wu Lin looked at Yi Mo in disbelief. Yi Mo only had some messy hair and clothes, and the blood marks were beginning to disappear from his body. What person was this? He was completely fine under the explosion of his secret technique. He definitely used his body to stop the explosion. How was this powerful? No matter how powerful the cultivator, he couldn't be unscathed. The hardest part about that move wasn't the explosion, but encompassing the opponent with the sword ray. Some opponents could react fast and escape before being trapped. Yi Mo was trapped, and Wu Lin was certain his move worked, but now Yi Mo stood completely fine in front of him. To be able to be completely fine, Yi Mo must be a body refinement master, one who was at the top, but Wu Lin didn't believe Yi Mo would be one. Before W. Lin could talk, Yi Mo hacked out with Zisu and said this time, "It's my turn." Wu Lin was truth realization state level 9, but he didn't dare to take it head on. But in that instant, the purple ray was before him. Wu Lin released the white sword, forming a white veil blocking in front of him. Crack! The purple ray and the white veil clashed, and a few black wrinkles appeared on the white veil. At the same time, the veil cracked again, disappearing. A thin white sword was sent flying. Wu Lin was shook. Yi Mo's purple ray was too fast. Just when he released another shield, he heard another crack. The shield was sliced in half, and blood splashed out. So powerful. Wu Lin retreated tens of steps, smashing against the wall of the palace while looking at Yi Mo in shock. Yi Mo was about to attack again, but Wu Lin suddenly stopped with his hand. "Wait, I'm no match for you, and I don't expect you to let me go. With your power, you can dominate even in the heartless sea. Why would someone like you help Jing Zhuoxiang? If you can tell me, I will die satisfied." Jing Zhuoxiang was that ugly. Wu Lin would never believe Yi Mo would be interested in her, and came to help. Yi Mo sneered, "I'm not here to help Jing Zhuoxiang. I came here to kill Yong Lanyi, of course. Jing Xiangdong is my friend. Jing Xiangdong has a friend like you." Wu Lin said this in despair, and then he emitted a withered chi. You're tuning into the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.